stream singing it.
We need to do it again then.
Happy birthday. In fact, did you know what? She said she was missing the start of the session.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did say.
Yeah, I'm quite jealous of you because when I went back and tried to do a bit more Subnautica, I realised it's one of those games that when you haven't, like, not been on a wiki, once you haven't got to the end game and realised, like, okay, so that's what, you know, these are all the types of monsters in the game, or this is the area they range in. When you just don't know anything, the game is both magical and absolutely terrifying and anxiety building all the time. When you get to a point where you're like, well, I know that doesn't spawn here, so I'll be alright. It kind of takes a lot of it away. But yeah, I was shitting one.
The problem I've got with it is
Got no time.
there's just so many things that I just could not work out, and I was like, where the fucking hell do I find salt so that I can make fucking water? Where do I find? So I just kept dying of thirst all the time.
There's a surprising amount of stuff right near your base. Like there's
I know this now. I checked online.
You don't still go and make bottled water though, do you? With all the little bladderfish.
No, well, if bladderfish are around. Yeah, if the bladderfish are around, then I grab one. Yeah, but we're doing okay now. We're doing okay. We just got a lead suit. We found like some big geothermal fissure. I'm presuming I'm presuming it's the same ocean. We spawn in a different place.
I think the impression I've got is that there are 4 locations in the same general, like, safe shallows area that the pod can spawn in. So the 3 spawn, but we're all within like 2 minutes of each other.
Oh, okay. I hadn't found. Yeah, there's like a big geothermal thing happening under the water all the time.
Yeah.
So like...
Is it in a little? Is your pod right next to like a really big open coral tube sort of tunnel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same spawnsies, mate. Same spawnsies.
Yeah. Well, my last one wasn't, but it didn't save. We hit save, and like, right, okay, great, night, boys, and I turned it off, not realising it takes like 20 seconds to actually save the full thing. So yeah, so we lost everything we'd done yesterday. Anyway, did you go live and we're just chatting away?
Yeah.
Well then,
right.
guys.
So we're saying cancel this and we're going to stream Subnautica instead.
I mean, fine by me. Every time 30 rolls around, I'm like, oh god, it's D&D again. I've got no time. I need to make maps.
Hey, I've got shit I can be doing.
Yep. Anyway, we're here now.
We might as well.
Might as well now that we've
try
all
and shit out some content.
Congregated. Yeah. Right.
I don't know, just
What?
I don't know, just not being able to take the piss out of Aggie for not being here. It takes a lot of its shine off Aggie. I kind of don't want to do it now. Yeah, well, I thought it was very fucking funny.
Yeah, I tittered internally. What?
Internally.
Yep. Okay. Who wants to give us a bit of a recap so that I can remember what I'm doing?
I mean, I just feel like it was just, once again, we found ourselves walking around Hundlestone, pissing people off. It was basically the session of delivering bad news, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
We went and told Jerem, sorry, no. Went and told Jenna, sorry, no. Went and told the Baroness, sorry, no. As a shadow that I presume, I presume may have been like either her trying to gauge our small talk or her husband eavesdropping lingered in the doorway. We'll never know now. Then we went back, clarified a few more terms of the betrayal of Sribitz's lot. Hey, our fucking objectives have gone.
They're still visible for me.
Yeah, I can see him. Don't worry, I know the barman.
No, sorry. Sorry, our character tokens and the card about Sribbits and the Never Resort. We don't have to find it anymore, guys. We can go home.
No, that's all still on the landing page.
It's all there.
It's still there.
That's weird. It's not for me.
Reload.
Actually, I probably should click on that one. There we go. Yeah, reloaded it and it's all there now. Very strange. And then What was the other thing we did? Oh God, we got with the driver, Duck, and we had just set. I thought we were still in town, but no, we set off in his wagon.
We're on the road. We're actually on the road.
Yeah.
We are, and someone is trying to have sex with me, so that's nice.
Don't worry, Duke will stop me.
Why did you jump to that conclusion? Just because he wants some female company? Why are you being a creeper about it? Weirdo.
I'm not being a creeper. He's being a creeper.
He's just being polite. He's like, oh, lovely lady. Now some female company. Someone to have a chat with, Outlook on life, see what's happening and a shaking in the world of what women think about. But no, apparently, you went straight there with your dirty mind. Anyway, people. Give me 1 minute because something is missing and I don't know why. Why is it doing this? I'm worried to do anything in case it's... Okay, there we go. I don't... Why is it doing that I can't right-click to activate... Have they changed something with Foundry now?
Well, what can't you do? What are you attempting to do, DM?
Navigate scenes. I don't know why.
As in you're trying to load it for us, or just you yourself want to have a little look at another scene and not show it to us yet?
Got something up in the navigation, but it doesn't have a right-click activate.
That's because it's already activated. I've seen it. I've just been a very good boy and never clicked on it. But the bullseye target means you've given us access to it all the time.
Well, I don't know how to stop that then.
Okay, so right-click on it. Oh, I can't do it here. Right-click on it. I've got my Foundry open actually. Yeah, configure.
Toggle navigation, which isn't there.
No. When you right-click on it, you don't have configuration for it. It's not navigation. On the configuration, you will then have accessibility. I'm guessing you have it set to all players and accessibility.
What the fucking hell is this bullshit?
Is that a bull? Is that?
No, I've got it set to GM only. I've got access. Why is it doing this as default? That's not normally what it's like.
No, it doesn't. I just presumed that you would set it to us because we were going to be there for a while.
Unless I've done it by accident. Right. Okay. Fuck's sake, Foundry fucks me off so much. So can you actually go on that scene?
Let me try. Now the DM has asked me to. Yes, but I do not own any token of vision on this scene, so it is black.
Okay. Interesting, but you can see the name of it in the top right.
Yeah.
Okay. That is peculiar. I literally don't know how to get rid of it. I can't get it to not be on the navigation thing.
So when you're on the landing page, if you right-click it, you don't have toggle navigation on there? No. Okay. Can you right-click on it and activate it?
Down?
No, I can't even right-click and activate it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why the fuck that's there.
Sometimes that appears because I had the same problem with the drop-down list below, because it's very close to where it's starting activated. But you can do it from the menu directly, not the top one, the one where you have all
the scenes menu. I've got view scene, configure, regenerate thumbnail, delete, duplicate, export data, import data, create transition. Don't have toggle navigation, don't have activate. So that's going to be interesting. I'm presuming it's just now there, whether I like it or not. And once if I need to drop any tokens on there. Fuck's sake. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is. Hi guys, welcome to kind of a Frostmaiden. God, I hate DMing. Right. Dead easy, Foundry, everybody. If you like Foundry content, go to www.themadcartographer.com. Loads of great Foundry content.
As you can tell, he's a great artist, but technology is fucking shite at it.
I don't even... If there's no right click to activate, then I don't know.
Buy a better mouse.
The thing is, though, right-click to activate.
Mhm.
If that's not there, it would suggest that that's already the active scene.
It's activated, yeah.
Which would suggest that I can right-click the other one and toggle the navigation. I can't toggle the navigation on either of them. All I've got at the top, on the top of the bar, is configure.
Okay then. In that case, go back to something we don't need anymore, like a combat map we've already used, and right-click, activate that. And when it makes that the active scene, okay, so the other one has disappeared for me now. So now right-click, activate the landing page. There you go. I'm fucking fantastic.
So is the other one now not there?
Correct.
Nope,
Interesting.
not
So
there
that's just a weird fucking glitch that happened at the beginning because that was.
It's a
'cause I
picnic.
don't even. Yeah.
Problem in share, not in computer.
Yeah. All right.
I almost fucking sprayed coffee all over my leave of absence form then with your fucking derision.
Anyway, right then. So, with all that done, let's crank up the volume. Not that much though. There we go. Deafening.
Lizards! We're back into the elements. We're back into the elements.
So, you are all. Oh, hold on a minute. Aggie's now sending me messages in private. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with you. Just saved it because you were the first chat open.
What? Did that one fucking damn you, gobshite?
What's he done? Send you his password or something?
He's just sent me a fucking message that somebody else has sent to him just to save it on my. Like I'm his fucking PA now.
Have you got notepad, Aggie?
I'm his post-it note apparently. What is this guy?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I know.
Christ.
I know. That's what I have to deal with.
Starting this campaign. Fucking.
That's what you get for being my best internet friend. You're always on the top of my messages.
God, well, we'll have to sort that out.
Now you have to deal with it.
We'll have to sort that right out. Right then. So, we found ourselves slowly trundling out of Hundlestone. We were in a wagon, 2-horse-drawn wagon. 3 of you in the back, 4 of you in the back because you have Ket with you.
Have a great time.
And I believe, well, I mean, nobody needs to necessarily travel up front, but I think Torelios might have been traveling up front.
Just to tank the pervert.
Yeah. And so everybody, we're now heading into the blizzard. I believe it was probably around about 1 PM, I'd say, there or thereabouts, just after lunch by the time everything had been prepared and cargo loaded and finally heading out. And can you remember how many days you were told that they were ahead of you?
About
3, yeah.
no, it was about a first. We realised more like an hour, wasn't it? We were catching up rapidly.
Indeed.
Yeah, they were behind us actually.
And can you remember how many days they said it would take you to get to the spine?
Up 2?
About 2. He hazards a cheeky guess.
Guesses wildly.
I believe you were told by Blackfriar that they will probably arrive at the spine of the world tonight. So, the spine of, yeah. So you are effectively about 2.5 days behind, depending on how you wish to travel. You have orchestrated it with Blackfriar for them to not be receiving their sleds to come and pick them up, and you were provided some items that might help you push through and catch them up at some point. So, we're currently heading down the path, and Duck has his hood pulled up, thick, heavy woolen gloves, and just trudging into the white blizzard. And you can tell that even from Hundlestone, it looks like the road ahead is a slight incline every so often. We're told it's a difficult trek, and it's windier roads. It's, you know, at least at this part, once you hit the spine of the world, then it all kind of straightens out a little bit. But it is the visibility is difficult for an inexperienced driver. But fortunately, you have Duke with you, who is so confident in his abilities. He opts to not travel with armed guards for his return journey. And so it is the 5 of you who now make your way towards the spine of the world in search of Ribbit and the other prisoners that I don't think you know that much about them. I think you kind of got a little bit of information. And then it is, so you're all on the wagon, trundling away. Does anybody want to kind of chat about anything to each other, to anybody?
Oh, we're all staring at each other completely and utterly.
Well, I've been having a chat with Eileen in the back, hadn't I?
What were you chatting about?
Or was it last time I was stuck in the back of a wagon with her? No, I feel like we're having a chit chat about something. Something really compelling, obviously, to cover what it was. But I felt like we were having some sort of chin wag.
Okay.
Because we have had a. Have we had a rest on the road, or we pulling out when we ended the session?
We're pulling out. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I've got two. Been a lot of sitting in the back of wagons so far in this campaign. Then yeah, no, I have not.
There's more.
Looking like death won me over at the very least, but I don't think that I'm going to get any sleep on this. So I'm probably going to pick up on the awkward energy that we've created in the studio today, and just ask, anybody wants tea? I could do for a wake up.
Yes, please. I want to. It's cold.
Yeah, look, so wouldn't mind some tea.
Tea for Thesia and for Cat coming up. How about you, Sir Gris?
Marvelous, thank you.
Let's pull up some NPC art of who is currently with you, so we can have a little reminder.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot. We now know what Ket looks like, and he looks like he's in a boy band.
He looks like nothing like you thought.
No, it really throws me.
There you go. That's Ket.
The guy from Catfish. What it is? Catfish's name is from now on.
Catfish. And then you also have. Where is he?
We have the art of Duke.
You
do.
Do.
God, he looks like he's fallen out of a tree. A tree fell on him.
Where the fuck is he? Let's do a search for him. There we go. Aha. Looks like he's fallen out of a tree, did you say?
Yeah, and then a tree fell on him.
Yeah. There he is.
Jesus.
Oh yeah. Oh, he looks so weird.
He looks like that weird, awkward stage at the start of Return of the King, where like Smeagol has the ring, but he hasn't fully turned into Gollum yet. He's one of the transitional stages of Smeagol.
It's the nose.
It's the fucking
And the
fish eyes and the
and
shark
the
too.
mouth. Yeah, it's everything. It's everything.
And that ten-head.
I am questioning why he only has half a mustache.
Oh, ask the question if you want to. You know, the artwork never lies. The artwork is there. And so it kept like, love something to keep us warm on the road.
Leave for the entire party coming right up. I say, look through my backpack and try to wake up Clover. Come on, dear. It's time to get something up and warm for the rest of them. And it's probably... Ah, there we go. You know how they like it.
Ket's got the same mustache. It's obviously a bloody regional thing. I shaved my lip on one side, as was the fashion at the time.
This is there a little bit. Just about.
We've cracked the code.
And everybody in the All of Icewind Dale has a slightly off right eye.
That's how you know they're from the Dales.
Yeah. It's this incestuous gene thing that they've got. And Duke up front, kind of just over here in the kind of chatter back there, is like, I've got something else if you got trouble keeping them warm. And he like looks to Trillis and he kind of like knocks on his chest and you just hear a tink tink. Like he's got something metal within his clothing.
Well, I'm not particularly bothered by the elements, so keep it for yourself, probably.
Ah, right. It's pretty interesting. So it's like the snow and the water. Makes sense, I guess. I mean, what about if you're like from somewhere that's like really warm? Down south where they've got like warmer waters.
I wouldn't know. Haven't been.
Right.
In my life. Have you traveled much?
Oh no, not much. Just between Luskan and Bryn Shander mostly. And the other 3 towns for Ironmaster and Fireshare. Went to Waterdeep as a lad, but been a long time since I've done the coast.
You've probably passed 10 trails many times in your life.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much my bread and butter.
From one side to the other.
What's that?
How come you're not working with anyone else? You said you work on your own. You're not part of the guild.
I just got their own rules and regulations, aren't they? And they want to take a massive cut of your money. So, there's enough work to go around where the guild can't cover everything, and old Duke's there to pick up the slack. Been a lot easier recently with this bloody winter.
Anything on our way that we should be looking out for? Are there any dangerous parts, like more dangerous than usual? Anything that we should be wary of?
On what? On the trail?
Yes. On the trail.
Is
there anything ahead of us that would be worth keeping an eye for?
Oh, definitely. Oh, you got to make sure you got an eye out for sure. Like whether it's crag cats, goblins, especially once you get into the Dales. Oh, I got quite a few of them bastards running around. What else you got? Got giant spiders. They're always a bugger.
We've met some of them.
Oh, well, I see that it turned out all right. And he kind of like casts a little glance over his shoulder to acknowledge you, but then quickly eyes back on the road. You can tell this isn't one where he wants to.
How rude!
Sorry, mate. And just turns around and looks at you. Seems like you handled yourselves all right, though. Managed to fight them off.
A little fire seemed to scare them off, in fact.
Not wrong there. Yeah, they like to keep to the dark places. That's what you find about most of the stuff around here. A lot of it's scavengers, unless they're really hungry. They generally keep away, But if they're opportunists, then...
Yeah. How do you protect yourself on the way back with no one around and having to sleep on the road?
I don't sleep.
It all makes sense now.
Yes.
It explains it all.
It's not too bad. Going up there, I get enough sleep, get myself covered, get myself all ready. But then on the way back, I'm all right as long as the horses get a bit of a rest. Old Duke will do just fine.
Interesting. That does sound.
Well, gotta be brave or mad.
Indeed.
And you look at him, and you're kind of not 100% sure which one he might be now.
Did you have any other customers lately?
No, none that have been heading up to 10 pounds. There was just a group the other day, but obviously that wasn't me.
Who took them?
That would have been. I'll tell you in a moment. That would have been
One of Herna's then.
Gaskell. That's Gaskell and his boys.
What sort of crowd are they?
I mean, they're all right, nice enough lads. I mean, literally, it's his lads. It's him and his two boys. They're all right, but I know you have to be careful with them. Not the most trustworthy sorts. Sleep with one eye open, if you know what I mean.
Indeed.
For certain types, anyway.
Indeed. It's like, can't take that sort of advice. Coming for directly looking into the absolute saucepan eyes of a fella. Sleep with one eye open.
If I may ask, have you met another one of my kind in the past? I seem to recall you mentioning something to that extent.
Only briefly. Like, I remember him coming through the guild, like came through the Wagoneers, but as it happens, there was Gaskell that took him.
Gaskell as well. And when, pray, was it, if you remember?
Oh, I mean, it was before all this winter, because they were heading up to Bryn Shander, if I recall correctly. I don't know, about a year ago, maybe.
A year ago.
Maybe. Something like that.
Well, that's very helpful.
Aye, no problem. Someone you know?
Possibly. I have no way to confirm it, but I don't imagine many of our kind travel here.
Well,
So-
no. It's like I said, I've only ever seen two of yous, and well, what was his name?
That's a very good question. Corvus. Corvus was the name.
And he kind of like looked into the snow for there. Rings a bell. I reckon it might have been your pal, Matt.
Family, actually.
Family. Oh well, makes more sense. Suppose not seeing that many of yous, you'd expect yous all to be related. So inappropriate.
Yeah, wow.
Ah, well then. Think, fortunate. Because, I think if Gaskell had been taking him now, might have been a different story. Got a bit of a problem with magic users. The Gaskell is not a big fan, and obviously, your uncle. He was.
Is it after his last travel, after his last passengers, or was it an earlier development?
It's been while all this winter's been going on. People get funny ideas in their head. Thinking that they can do something about it. But they used to be all right. The three of them. But nowadays they've not got much of a liking for that kind. And he looks over his shoulder. No offense if any of yous are. He kind of like wiggles his hand like mystically. Ooh,
None taken.
But,
I just give him a mean stare, like a mean, for like 1 second, and then I just ignore him again.
he just gives you a smile, like an oblivious smile, and looks away. Aye. So, yeah, not too fond, but yeah, your uncle seemed like he could handle himself, you know.
I hope so.
Well, seemed to be able to get around a bit, you know. That big fella he was with, he seemed to be helping him.
Big fella.
Didn't catch his name. Pretty sure he were human. Nothing stand out, not like, you know, one of your lot.
Well, that's something. That's more than I had when I woke up today.
Glad I could help. He kind of like smiles.
And Gaskell and his sons, they live in Handlestone. Are they there now?
I think they're actually from Fireshare originally, but no, Gaskell's the one that's travelled out the other day that's taken these other visitors up there. He'll be on the road. We'll probably meet him on the way back.
Oh. That's
Be able to stop off and ask him a question, but, you know, if any of you have got any of that, you know, hoodoo voodoo, then I'd suggest, like, keeping that to yourselves. Especially if you want to sit down and break bread and whatnot. If you've got questions, keep that under wraps.
Understandable, thank you, dear. And I also pass him a bit of tea.
Oh, thank you very much. He kind of like over his shoulder grabs this little cup and passes the reins to you, Torelios, for a minute. Just hold it steady. We're all right on this bit for a minute. Do you take the reins?
Yes.
Roll me a DC 25 dexterity check. And there you go. He gets his little cup of tea and dips into his jacket, trying to make sure no skin shows and doesn't get too cold. And he kind of pulls out this little metal flask and, with his teeth, unscrews it, just puts a little nifter in his ear. Just keep it off the chill, like. So what's sending you all up this way? Is it just looking for your uncle?
Oh no, not really. No, and I'll. Can we see each other? Like, can I see the people who are inside? Because he was.
So I think it's like like I said, it's like an open wagon. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I will. Oh no, because I have the. I'm currently leading the horses. No.
It's take it back off. He wants this filled up his thing. He just filled his flask up, and he just kind of like takes them with one hand, and he's kind of like got his cup of tea, and he's like, you know, just easy, having a little sip on it.
I guess I'll look briefly at Sir Chris, because it's easiest to lock eyes with him, I suppose.
A few different tasks warrant our voyage north. Various errands for our benefactors and our employers.
Well, I hope you're getting paid a lot. I wouldn't want to be making this journey, not through the spine.
If we manage everything, I believe we shall be rewarded appropriately.
Well, good for you. One of those once in a lifetime type things, is it?
Possibly, but I hope not. I hope it's just the beginning.
Oh, well then. Looks like you're going places. Bit of money in your pocket. World's your oyster. No offence.
I'm taken.
He gives you a nod and drinks his cup of tea.
I've seen too many of those.
No doubt. And just carries on in the quiet for a little bit and says, well, I know that you're all in a rush. And, as far as these horses go, we can try and push them on, but wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Especially when we start getting closer. You know, I don't have to sleep, but they're gonna have to rest because it gets a little bit wicked up there.
We aren't in quite a rush, but you are the one who knows the road and knows what it takes to get there. So I suppose we have to trust you on this one. Trust your judgment.
Well,
If you feel you can get us earlier, you can save us some time. We'd be up for it, I suppose.
I mean, realistically, you're looking at 2 nights camping on the road.
Indeed.
Trying to push it to 1 night and travelling through. I don't know, man. Don't think the horses could make it, you know.
Mm.
I mean, we can try, you know. They're strong girls, but he just kind of like gives you a little look and over his shoulder at everybody.
Sure, we don't want to put you in a position where you don't have the horses to get you back safely yourself. You know this much better than us. You'll know their limits.
2 nights it is then.
Fox.
Try and make some good headway on the 3rd day.
Good. So be it.
And kind of like just goes into thing. He's like, you can tell he's like quite eager to kind of chat, but he's like his attention starts getting drawn to the road where he's like really concentrating, and you know, there's like little bits where you can, you know, like a little glance over to the side, you can see that it'd be quite easy to kind of like slip the trail a little bit here, you know, where you know it's a little bit craggier, a little bit rockier. You know, if this was 10 Trail and it had been made for people to get from Hundlestone to who's whispering, who's hissing?
I thought it was Eileen having a sneezing fit, wasn't it?
I wish to say yes, but not this time.
It's not me.
It's from here this time.
For a road that is well used for travel, it seems like it is hitting a bit of, you know, like potholes that are kind of like, you know, breaking out, you know, with the heavy snows and stuff like that. It's a little bit more treacherous than normal. So he's kind of zoning in a bit and just concentrating, looking into the blizzard. A little sip of his tea every so often and just hunkers down. And in the back, he says that I'm going to say that it's positioned more to the front so that Torelios you can hear.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like keeping it low, but you know, it's either that or you don't converse at all. So, your man, do you need him alive?
At this, I mostly shrug. Assuming that I'm closest to him by this point.
It's a pretty small wagon, so you know I guess everybody's there.
If I'm being seen shrugging, is probably the better thing. Because after I've handed everybody tea, I think I am just holding my cup and shivering huddled in the corner. Utterly miserable.
Seems like a conversation that you all need to have.
Yes, indeed.
My understanding was that we would not be required to transport him back. But I may have misinferred.
Het shrugs. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But more for
It was
our
very-
discussion than his.
Yeah, it's very, very much a posed question to the group then, okay. So,
Very much a post question that was met with a I don't care. And
So he has what information you need then?
Stolen goods.
Ah. So as long as those come back, doesn't matter too much about the man. I understand. Well, once we
Well-
come upon them, if there's a chance and we need to take him out, it sounds like your man's more dangerous than the three of mine put together. Then I'd say don't falter on it. At least, yeah, don't be worried about hurting him.
that's good advice. Thank you greatly, Kath. Have you been doing this for a while?
Long enough. Hopefully not for too much longer. Got a few more jobs that I need to finish off, and then I think retirement is
Hmm.
in my near future.
And what form will your retirement plans take?
And he kind of like shoulders into his into his winter clothes and takes a little dreamy sip of his cup of tea. Somewhere warmer, a lot warmer.
Completely understandable.
I mean, the Sword Coast. I've been here for too long. I don't know, somewhere distant. I hear the moon seas. Something to behold. Probably head out east. Go and see that. What about you? You're all just a wandering motley of vagabond adventurers? And he smiles.
You may absolutely call us that. Personally, for myself, I'm hoping to finally set on roots. At least until we finish a couple of things.
Sir Gris bristled slightly at the agreement that he was a vagabond traveller.
And he, I don't know, he catches eye of it. He's like, you're traveling from place to place. Do you have roots yourself, Sir Gris? Somewhere to call home?
Afkatla, mainly. That's where the order is based. And
That's where the order is based, but is that really home? Is that where you'll go back to one day? And stay there?
I think so. Yes, there was little for me in Brost. Afkatla has become my home, unless somewhere more homely crops up in the interim.
Well, don't know about homely heading into 10 towns. Not that experienced with it myself, but it's the dead end of civilization. They say that Luskan is where civilization stops, and what's north of that ain't worth knowing about.
And there are enough people around here who still call it home. They must have a reason for it.
I guess most of them don't know any better. It's not easy to break away from where you've been, who you are. You know, where we grow up, it's sometimes easy to define us. But I think everybody should do what the likes of you four are doing. Travel, see the world, find out who you really are.
Well,
If
for
everyone-
this, I personally am going to thank you.
Everyone can
Oh.
pause a second. I'm just going to change our region because I'm getting so much background static when both DM and Chirelios are talking.
I think I'm getting it mostly from Letitia.
Are you? Hang on.
Me-
Let me mute myself and tell me if you still have it.
Nope.
Where the bloody hell is the region moved to anymore?
Oh, that means it's me. Hang on. Let me just add some. How about now?
So far, it's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Weirdly, it wasn't always. It was lingering even after you weren't lit up anymore. Yeah, it does also now look like maybe you can't change server regions anymore. So I know my Tomb of Annihilation one's gonna be fucked when that starts happening.
I mean, Tomb of Annihilation only plays every once in a blue moon, doesn't it?
At the moment, yeah.
You're right, there are no regions anymore.
Everybody just keeps bouncing around. Now they just want you all to get stuck where you are and then pay for Discord upgrades at some point.
Discord Gold.
Ah, well, it is what it is. But yeah, so far it's going smoothly.
And Pet kind of looks between Sir Gris and Eileen and then casts a sidelong look at Letitia. And what about you? What's your story?
It's a long one. I'm not sure we have the time for it tonight. Maybe tomorrow.
The day's young, but if you want to keep it to yourself, feel free. Just
Wait,
trying to
is
be
it? I
fun.
thought it was like getting into the evening right now.
It's 1
No?
p.m. 1 p.m. just south.
Oh, yeah. Then my answer was like more PC than it should have been. I thought we were like really in the evening.
Okay. Then what's your story?
Oh well,
Don't talk
I'm
to
not
me.
from around here, and by around here I mean not from this plane. I come from a tavern that travels into the astral plane, and I say it voluntarily with like some like funniness in my voice, so he thinks I'm like making fun of him. Maybe if he picks up on that.
I will make him roll an insight check. Let's see how he takes it. He
Attacks.
He does a 180 and bring us back to where we were.
kind of gives you a quirked eyebrow. It's like, okay. And like then looks between Eileen and Sir Gris, who I guess are equally kind of like, oh, maybe.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you know any better or what?
Don't believe anything this guy says.
I'm giggling. Oh, does that mean that you're studying us? Are we test subjects?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. If you think you're interesting enough, I'm just gathering data and looking for artifacts. That's what I do.
Just preparing for the
Test
invasion by
subjects
my
we
kind.
are. Test subjects we are. Are we ever going to see your works on us? I'm very curious.
And Ket gives you the once over and looks up and down and says, so, I presume you're pretty capable of handling yourself then?
So far, it's been serving me well. Lived
Good.
for most of my life back in Baldur's Gate. And when half the people who come to see you don't want to be here, well, I've chased a couple of people down in my life.
Seems like I'm among good company then. Can't think of
The
better
best.
traveling companions. And he says, I can't think of better traveling companions. And there is an air of, unsurety about it as he says it. And I will say, I I'd say Eileen, you particularly, you kind of like pick up on there is some reservations from Cat.
Just how much have we managed to creep up this man? I
Yeah.
wonder, somewhere deep down.
Well, unless anybody else has anything else to say, we will travel a day away.
Bravo.
All joking aside, Sir Kev.
A cat? He's just been knighted.
Well, I'm used to calling Sir Gris.
No, he's a knight.
The Duke? Wait, what?
Your Majesty.
We're getting there.
He looked to Eileen. What was it you said?
God, what was I saying? All right. All joking aside, Sir Kev. It is strange how we found ourselves on the open road like this. Is it often for you to find adventurers wandering around, going from place to place?
I mean, that is the whole point of adventurers, isn't it? You go where the coin is best and where there's danger and things to be found, and he gives like an up nod to Letitia. There's always somebody being hired. There's always an advert on the bulletin board that's calling out for somebody to do something that common folk can't.
That is indeed true. But I was under the impression that our roads tended to cross paths a lot more often than you are giving me the impression that they have.
What do you mean?
I'm just couldn't help but notice that you seem to be regarding us as a bit of a novelty. Granted, I've been told that the mask is a little peculiar, but we can't be that hard to spot out in the wild.
And he points at Sir Gris. A knight. A presumed woman with a face covered. An astral planner traveling tiefling, I presume. And a triton. I would say that you are indeed one of the more diverse groups that I have seen.
Of that last thing, he's sure. The fool.
The triton's head peels back. I've seen groups before, but most of the time you find people sticking with their own in some way or another. For the four of you to be traveling like this, especially to where you're going, it's not overly common. But if it works for you, it works for you. Sometimes we don't choose the company we keep. Sometimes it just falls into our lap. He takes a sip from his cup of tea, holds his hands around it.
I actually take a look at us, and then I reply, you know, looking from the outside in, I can see what you mean. I think I just got used to us.
And he kind of gives you a look over and says, so, what are you under there? Human?
Last time I checked, yes.
I am very interested in this line of conversation. If I was looking remotely relaxed or uninterested, I'm now like zip.
What? Curious as to what is under the mask?
Absolutely.
What is under the mask?
And I'm going to say, when was last time you checked?
When were we last time in the room? It feels like too long ago. Was it the night before? 2 nights ago?
Last night. Oh yeah, 2 nights ago. Yeah, you didn't sleep last night. Yeah, you were in the church. So
I'll give it 2 nights ago. wherever we were then.
So you do take it off, just not in public?
Mm. At the very least, not during waking hours. Mind too uncomfortable with it off.
Too uncomfortable with it off?
Mm, pretty much. Some people don't really enjoy having things on their face. I don't particularly enjoy having something that's not on my face.
Seems fair. And just has a little sip of his tea.
How long have you
So,
been wearing that for, Eileen?
Feels like most of my lifetime.
So it isn't something you've started doing since you took up your new profession?
No, this comes from way before, back when I still had my old profession.
Trevor, have you told us what your old profession was?
I think you all know that I was a doctor.
Yeah, roundabout. Yeah.
Oh, so do I thought they would, fill the doctorly role whilst being, I thought they were one and the same, really. Okay.
No, it was a doctor only, minus the magic-y bits. Magic, that was indeed something far more recent. Still getting the hang of it. Although now I am curious. Sagatha, you enjoy your tea?
Yeah, it's, very good. And it's just Ket. It's not Sir anything. It's just Ket.
Fair enough then. I then look into my pouch and say, "He liked it. Well done, little one." Indeed. I say and let to stay nice and warm. At least one of us should be warm.
And with that, Ket just kind of like rolls his shoulders a bit and casts a glance out of the wagon, just watching Hundlestone trail off way, way behind him in the snow. Can't see it anywhere near now. And the wagon carries on rolling, and you get through the day unfettered. The weather seems like it's going to keep up. It feels like it's getting incrementally worse the closer you get to the spine. Not like a sudden major shift, but just seems like it's a little bit harder to see where you're going.
In increments?
In increments. No major shift, but every so often you kind of like, oh, feels like it's a bit harder to see around now. In increments. And then...
all of a sudden? No, it happened in stages.
Stages, but not increments. And you travel until Duke starts pulling off the road. It's getting late, getting a lot darker. And he starts heading off, and it's like it's a little off the road. It's a bit of a shortcut of a fashion. It's a little bit more recluse. A little bit better for the horses. Be there in about 10 minutes.
Does it smell bad? Does it smell like a trap or something?
You can roll me an insight check if you wish.
Insight? Okay.
Well, that's to... Well, are you saying it for seeing whether you think Duke is setting you up?
Yeah.
Then yes, it would be an insight to see if he is being deceptive or not.
I'm dumb, I don't know.
He seems okay. He was very casual about it.
Okay. Just ask a lot of questions. I don't know. He's been asking a lot of questions. Maybe it's just lonely, but yeah.
It's been conversation.
No, but a lot of specific questions, like, "Hey, what exactly are you?" You know?
Where are you going? What are you doing?
Where did you come
What's
from?
your
Where did you go?
What's your Where did you come from? He So yeah, as you're heading, can you all roll me a perception check? A perception check with disadvantage, please.
Yes. Yes, my lord. Did they do a 20? Oh no, that was
You are
13.
already dead.
Aileen gonna save us. And see her bird mask.
Okay. And you're traveling down the road. You can see that the cliffs rise up a little bit around here, but nothing major. It's like just gone into like a little bit of a gully. This path. It's a little bit rockier. It's obviously not a road well traveled, but you instantly feel that the snow is lighter. It's not kind of like sweeping in from the side, but being in this gully, it's almost like a wind tunnel. So the wind chill picks up incredibly, but the visibility is a little bit easier. Duke starts turning down the lamp that's on the end of this pole. He kind of like pulls it in a little bit and turns the lamp down a little bit and feeds it back out, so you can basically just see in front of you. Well, he can just see. Anybody that doesn't have dark vision can see a little bit further.
The
So you got some.
lamp comes out.
Are you bringing the lamp out when he's just dimmed his lamp?
No.
I can't see! I'm trying to fucking read back here! And he's like, oh, we should probably not do Ket's voice. He says, we should probably try and keep a bit of a lower profile as much as we can. Just a little bit light. Travels a long way. Bring everything from miles around. Don't need none of that.
Are we alright?
I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere, so the situation's not any different than it was before you set off. You knew what you're heading into. Just, appears to be cautious. And if you can't be cautious, then, be prepared. And he leans under his seat and pulls out this crossbow. He kind of like sits it in his lap. And Trillash, you sat there, you can see that it is already cocked and loaded in preparation for anything that might happen.
Good.
I'm thinking that we should probably find a nice place. No fire. We can get some tents up. And I'd suggest eating in there. Keep out of the wind. Horses should be all right. And carries on going, and then traveling a little further, pulls into this. It's a bit of a narrow. It looks like this. It goes into this valley, this little gully bit, and then it opens up a little bit wider, and then it goes narrow again, like the path carries on. And it kind of points to it and says, "That'll take us back onto the road, but this place here is probably as good as we're going to get for a bit of cover for night." And he pulls the wagon in a little bit closer over towards the walls, and you're looking at a good, 40, 50 feet wide open space, and this gully has about a 15-foot wide kind of like trench cutting through this area, And the cliffs on each side, about 30 feet high. And he pulls over. Says, I recommend putting your tents up close to the walls. A little bit warmer. I'm going to tend to the horses while you get yourselves ready. Might recommend eating the back of here before you head off to sleep. And decide what you want to do about having a watch. And he flips off the front of the wagon, and he's kind of like got this pole pitched up, like into this hole in the in his wagon seat. So the lamp is like hanging. You can see him kind of like tending to the horse, and it sheds light inside the wagon, but otherwise kind of like dims it a little bit outside. So what y'all up to? What y'all doing?
Ellie is definitely feeling like something's out there that spooked them.
I'm gonna take a couple of mouthfuls of ration, get that out the way, quick swig of the water, and then I'm trying to get myself positioned to just be peering out and making it quite clear from the actions that I intend to be first watch.
Okay. Are you setting up a tent, or are you going to sleep on the wagon? Don't necessarily have to. It'd be more comfortable having your own tent, but there's no reason that you couldn't all potentially sleep here.
I think I will be remaining in the wagon. I want to be in a position where I can keep alert and jump out quickly.
So everybody else's plan. Wagon
I'm
off.
taking
will-
risk with a tent and helping anybody who's having trouble with tents, if that comes into effect.
So you say you are having a tent, Eileen?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
putting up a tent.
Letitia?
I'm going to also try to position myself to be first watch.
Oh, with Sir Grace, okay.
No, with Sir Grace.
That's what you said, with Sir Grace. Or are you trying to do it instead of him and make him go to sleep?
No, yeah, with Sir Grace.
Alright. So you kind of like... Tyrelos, what are you doing?
I do believe that we should probably let Eileen sleep the whole night. So how do we share the watches?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you've got Ket and you've also got Duke as well. So there's no reason that... I mean, I'm not going to micromanage the hours. But
Sure.
you just want to make sure that Eileen has her 8. Well, it doesn't even need to be 8 hours sleep. It needs to be like, what is it, 6 hours sleep and then 2 hours
Sure.
of light work and extended. Okay, sure. Yeah, in between you all just kind of like taking 2 hours. I think that would cover everybody. If everybody did a 2-hour watch apart from Eileen, that'd make sure everybody got their 6. So Tyrelos, are you tent or wagon?
I can be wagon.
Okay. Okay, so Eileen is getting her tent set up. And Het, he's gonna stay on the wagon as well. But Duke starts setting out to a tent. And it kind of like pitches it close to the horses. So who is indeed going on first watch?
So Gris au vent.
Okay,
And me.
Letitia of Letitia. Okay, and yeah, it's some tough going. Eileen, you're out there kind of trying to sort out your tent in this like little dim bit of light that you've got. There's not as much snow falling down, so the moonlight, does light up all the snow that's already hit the ground. So it's not like pitch black. It's, just kind of like that nighttime blue snow that you can kind of like see. And between you and Duke, he also kind of like helps you with a few little rope tying techniques that he's used to. Don't know how often you've used a tent, Eileen. You might be well versed.
Probably not very often.
Okay. He seems like a deft hand at it, and then helping you get everything ready. And it's like, well, I'm gonna go to sleep then. If might as well make the most of it while I can.
Thank you kindly, dear. And sleep well.
Ah, you too. And he comes to the back of the wagon, looks between Sir Gris and Letitia. I'm presuming that you twos have decided to take the first watch.
Indeed.
Unless that interferes with what your preference would be. You are the learned hand.
And he looks to me and says, "You're a tiefling, right? You can see in the dark. Is that right?"
Yes.
Letitia.
Sorry, which was
Yes,
this?
she
Which was
is.
this?
You're a tiefling. You can see in the dark.
Oh, you're a tiefling. Yeah, I mean, not technically in the dark, but I can see further when it's light's dimmer. Yeah.
And
Right? Like they can't see completely in pitch black, right? Like pitch. Yeah. Pitch.
yeah.
Well, scales.
No,
right.
no.
What was that?
They're seeing grey.
Yeah,
Yeah, dark vision of
Grey.
5e is more like dog vision, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, makes sense that you're pairing up with somebody that canny. Now, if we're talking about preferences, I think it'd probably make the most sense if I took the first watch with you. And he smiles at Letitia.
I will look to Letitia and say, I'll defer to
Yeah,
my
no
companion.
He laughs and he just bangs the wagon. He's like, "Danny, worry about it. I've got another night to work on you."
God, I thought you said I've got another one in mind as he goes to Eileen's tent.
I hate this so much.
And he just lies there. "Keep your eyes on both roads, heading in and out. Maybe cast a glance up top of the cliffs as well." He looks at Letitia. Your lamp is tied up onto your thing in it, onto your backpack.
I think
Um,
I have a lamp.
no, Sir Gris is not you.
Oh,
Chris
you
is
said
not.
he was looking at Leticia, but sorry, I have trouble
you
to
s-
because
so-
I don't hear everything because of the internet, so it's hard to pick up.
That's okay. That's okay. Sort yourself out. Not bad.
Yeah,
Oh, you heard that? You heard that? And so he says, "There's plenty of oil in that crate there. Keep that lamp burning, but no brighter than that. You hear anything? Shout as loud as you can."
Very well.
He gives a glance up and down the road, up at the cliffs. "Good night. See you in a few hours."
Good night.
And he heads off to his tent, and Ket looks up, "Good night. I'll take the next watch." He's already got his eyes closed. "I'll take the next watch. Just give me a nudge when you need me. Don't be a hero, Sir Gris, and try and take the full watch yourself." And he smiles with his eyes still closed.
Oh, you know it so well already.
I was fully
You're in a
intending
tent!
to.
What are you doing? What are you talking? You're in the tent. You get in your tent.
What's a tent made of? Granite.
There's still wind.
Probably hearing through.
You're in a wind
How far
tunnel.
away are we from them?
You're in a wind tunnel and not in the wagon. I suppose if he's shouting, she's just like, "You know us so well." Tell you what, I'll let you. I'll give you an idea of.
I was gonna say, yeah, I can hear the wind at the moment. I can still hear people over it.
Let's just change that then, shall we? Here we go.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
So, yeah. If someone's shouting you, then I think you could hear you. But otherwise, the wind around you, you're in your own tent. I imagine you're a little bit more isolated. but you are out of the cold, considerably more than you would be in the wagon. It is not a comfortable sleep in the wagon by any means.
Bless. I say, let myself down. And that's all. I think I just cut off.
As soon as you take the mask off. Actually, do you take your mask off while you've got all these people here?
I probably completely forgot about taking it off.
Okay, you just lie down for a moment, take your hat off, hang your hat up on the beak of your mask in front of you.
Yes, exactly so.
And then, boom, out like a light. Cerelios, presumably you are sleeping down next to Ket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Can you two decide between you who is going to be keeping main watch and who is going to be assisting in the watch? I would imagine Letitia is going to be doing the main watch as she has dark vision.
Because she has more skills and talents. Yeah, of course.
More skills and talents. She didn't see the dagger coming as Sugris shivs her in the night.
Hey. I see you're taking sides, DM. That's
Always.
not very professional.
I will lend my assistance to make sure she does it properly. I will, when it's Sugris with Letitia, the term needs to change. It isn't actually assisting; it's supervising.
Okay. Sure. Make sure she's actually not just got out her cube and starts pricking about.
Exactly.
I get that. I get where you're coming from. Okay. Well then, Letitia, can you please roll me a perception check with advantage?
See the boons I grant you.
Yay!
Nice. Deep into the watch, you are keeping a glance up and down, and I don't know whether you are. I guess just idle chit chat unless anybody wants to say anything or do anything during this moment.
Nah, just idle chit chat. Yeah.
Okay. And keeping the glance up and down. At some point, Letitia, you see something shift at the top of the cliff. On the other side of you, like looking out the wagon, you see something move, and it is the shadow of something, a figure. Looks more like hard to make out. It
looks more like hard to get. You fucking.
You're looking at it, and it looks like a figure that then kind of like shifts into a bigger mass. You can just kind of like see two shadows kind of silhouetted against the night sky a little bit, and then all of a sudden this like mass just separates, and then you see that there is a figure and a larger creature with it, and they just kind of like disappear. Oh, do you know what? No, they're probably watching. They stay still. You kind of like see them shift a bit, and you kind of notice them.
I'm going to nudge at Grace and say, "Hey, can you see that?"
Of
over
course.
there?
No, I can't. No, what do you see?
Of course you can't. I have to do everything here. I think it's a rider or something. Like there's a big creature and some humanoid figure just right there. Like they're I think they're watching us.
How close? How close?
How close?
The cliff was 30 feet up, so they're probably on the edge, like thinking about how far away you are from the other edge, the other side, and then up on the cliff, probably just about as far as you can see.
Where was Duke sleeping again?
He's in the wagon he's in a tent next to the horses.
Duke wanted to be informed.
Yeah, go do it. I'm going to keep an eye on them.
Indeed. and I will slip from back of a wagon and crouching, I'll pad over to Duke's tent, and obviously I won't just rip it open. I'll go for like the flat palm slap a couple of times on the side of a canvas. I'll drum skin it before I into a Duke.
Is everything all right? Is everything okay with the horses?
The horses are fine. We're being observed from a cliff top. Lutetia sees a figure and possibly a large beast just watching us.
Figure and a large beast.
And as I'm sort of talking to him, I'm not looking into the tent. I'm sort of just trying my best to look up to where she was referencing, but I imagine I just see fucking black long before it gets to the cliffs.
Oh yeah, you can probably see about 20 feet of okay light from the lamp, and then
the temptation to
and whiteness.
The temptation to Excelsior on my lamp. Yeah, too right.
Hey, you have the option.
Well, of course I do. Goes to 120 foot. I'll say to them, I have the means with my lantern to suddenly cast a light up to 120 foot. It'll show us what we. It'll show us what we. It'll show us what it is. I don't know if it'd scare them or it'd encourage them. What do you think?
And he is going to roll a check.
Whatever you fucking do not do that.
And he just thinks for a moment, like, 2 of them. What did you say? Human and a rider, you think?
Or a human and its steed. Of course, there could be 10 more beyond what we could see.
You actually can't see each other. It's like dark in his tent.
I'm frowning, Sir Gris.
He goes quiet for a minute. You can kind of feel his stillness, like. You hear stories about them. But only stories.
About which?
About the orc. There's an orc.
Oh, I really fucking thought you said Bjork.
Orc.
It's all so quiet.
Ouch. That's no mouth. He's got himself a bear.
An orc and a bear?
Can't say I know much about it. Like I said, just stories.
Does he mean harm? Does he prey upon those on the roadside?
Well, if he does, they wouldn't be telling any stories about it. You just kind of hear people saying that he's been in passing. You know, catch him in the distance, like. Usually quickly to put reins to horses. You
think we should remain or move?
I mean, I don't know. How long's it been? How long we've been asleep?
And I will give him an approximation of the time that the DM thinks has passed.
I'd say towards the end of your watch, probably about 2 hours.
About 2 hours.
I mean, it seemed like your friend needed the rest. And there's nothing to say if we move that he don't carry on moving with us. No saying whether he's been tracking us or just stumbled upon. I don't know. I think it's up to you whether you'd want to move on or not. I don't know enough about him one way or the other, just if that's who or what I think it is. Who's to say?
Let us try to remain a while longer.
Right, you are.
I'll wake you if anything changes.
Don't think I'm going to be able to sleep now, to be honest.
Well, you said you don't sleep too much anyway.
No, don't. Well,
I'll give a tent one more pat. I'll stand up, and as I'm walking back to the entrance of the wagon, I'm gonna sort of just turn to a direction that Lutetia suggested it was at. I'm gonna take a couple of steps forward, and I'm just gonna go into a deep bow before I head back and get into the wagon. I'm just going to be right back 1 second because my child is here. But I hop into the wagon and I tell Letitia we're staying, and I ask Letitia to inform the next person when we do the watch. Back in 1 second.
Well, he will be back in 1 second, but as he did his bow, Letitia, I will say that you saw the shadow stand up. It was like, must have been on like a bit of a crouched, kind of like watching, but as it's acknowledged, it sees that it's been noticed, it just kind of like stands up to its full height on the top of this cliff. You can kind of see the silhouette a lot more prominent now.
Did he do something like anything unusual while Grace was talking with Duke while I was watching, or was he just chilling?
Seems like they were still in watching. Obviously, didn't know that they'd been spotted, but now they know. I suppose wait until Sir Gris comes back before we decide.
I'm back. That's why I was typing. I was typing. It's Frostbeard in chat. It's a David Harrison maneuver. The Frostbeard kind of extends all the way up north.
Yeah. The figure just seems to be there. Just seems to be stood there.
How far is it? You said 30 feet, right?
6 feet up the cliff, but you're quite set back, so it's probably like 50 to 60 feet. It's like on the just about on the periphery of as far as you can see.
Okay. I'm going to ask Rafe to cover me. I have an idea. Can you stay 20 feet behind me and just follow me, okay?
You know I can't see more than a few feet in this darkness.
Especially once you start stepping away from the wagon, he's going to be effectively blind.
And is this wise for two of us to head off by ourselves? Tell me, what you have planned?
I just want to go do some recon while I'm invisible to see what's looking at us. But I would feel safer if you're not so far behind me.
I see the logic in it, but it seems very risky.
Wait a minute, what if we're both invisible and we just go there?
He still can't see though. He'll not be able. To be honest, I say you won't be able to see. You'll be able to make out like it won't be pitch black. You'll be able to make out like shadows and silhouettes because it is snow. There's snow everywhere, so there's still some illumination. But as far as the cliff, it is just black. It's just white snow and then blackness. These muggles that can't see in the dark.
It does seem risky though, but I would sleep better if I knew what was lurking in the dark, you know?
If this was something that you felt strongly you wanted to do, I would suggest perhaps that Chirelios might be a better companion, given you both can see a lot more keenly in this environment. I feel I would be more of a hindrance than a help, if it's merely reconnaissance.
I'm glad that you finally recognize that you're a hindrance on this party, but do we want to wake up Chirelios?
You are coming towards the end of what was your watch anyway, so he would be due for being woken up.
Okay, so let's wake him up then and discuss this plan with him, if he's comfortable doing it.
And Chirelios is woken up next.
I expected to see Cat. I believe he was supposed to take... What's wrong then?
There are we have some guests that are watching us from over there. I believe you can see them too, right? And I point at the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a perception check. I will let you do it straight now that you're kind of like being pointed a certain direction, and I'll give you. Sorry, I was saying it straight. Sorry, with advantage, not disadvantage. So you roll again. Yeah, as you kind of like tracing. I mean, and I presume Letitia is. Are you pointing in the direction, or are you kind of like explaining?
Yes. No, I'm pointing. Yeah.
Okay.
And
It should be 3 less, but it's.
Okay.
I clicked on persuasion instead of perception for the second one.
So as you're looking, it's a little bit hard. You kind of like see, but then as they kind of like stood up, you kind of like following the cliff line, and then you just see these 2 silhouettes. One humanoid in shape, and then the other this more looming dark figure.
Okay.
They've been watching us for a while now, and wasn't feeling so comfortable going back to sleep without knowing what or who they are. And I suggested to Grace that I could make us invisible and just get a little bit closer, try to make up what's happening there. But he felt like someone with dark vision, such as yourself, would be more suited for that, which I agree. But you have the right to, decline my offer if you're not so inclined to go risk your life in the cold and the night. Okay?
They're watching all of us. Have they been, in any way, betraying their possible intentions? Have they done anything?
We don't know. They're just there. They're getting closer, but not really.
Do they? Interesting. Well, how did you plan to do that? We'd have to get behind the wagon or something?
Yes.
If we just disappear now, they might get an idea of what we're doing. Right?
Unless Sir Grace stays in plain sight, so they don't expect anything. The only issue I see, possible issue, is that there is heavy snow, and we might leave footsteps that can be visible. But I believe in the dark they won't be as much a problem that I think they might be.
How far are they, DM?
About 50, 60 feet.
Oh.
Presumably, they'd have to be heading off to find an ascent up to there or something.
Sir Grace,
They were
would you
never
have
seen again.
Would you have a
Hey,
rope?
if he's awake, I'm asleep now, boy.
To sleep straight away.
Yeah.
Sort it out amongst yourselves that night.
No, go
While
on.
you
Go
two
on.
fuck off, there'll be nobody watching the wagon.
Sir Grace, do you have a rope on you? By any chance?
I do. Do you not? An adventurer such as yourself? You have no
I
sort
don't
of
think I
explorer's kit?
No, I have some other useful items.
I see.
You
Do
said
you think
you said you can hide
how
us
long?
both?
How long is it? Yes, I can. How long is it?
I've counted it out before we left, and it is exactly 50 feet.
50 feet. That sounds good. Can you tie it around my waist? And if I tug on it, that means we're in trouble with Turielos and we need help.
So, you're going to be invisible, yes?
Yes.
So, are they not going to see a large brown snake heading
I
off
mean,
along
that
the
can
floor?
That can frighten them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good question, actually. Can I make the
he's
rope
not.
invisible?
He's not
too,
wearing.
or am I
I imagine by the rule of invisibility, you're not wearing it, are you? DM might see it differently. I don't know.
It's only what you are wearing. You are not going to make the entire length of rope invisible as well.
There's just this floating lasso
hang on.
going along.
They say wearing or carrying.
Sure, but it doesn't. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it is. That you can just chain together. Like, oh, look at me! I'm holding on to this wagon.
Yeah, if you were invisible and climb into a barrel, the barrel wouldn't go invisible.
Yeah, I'm holding on to Gris. He's now invisible too.
So it's I just put Gris on my back and cast it on myself. So it's generally just so that you don't get nerfed using items and stuff.
I have a question. Does an unseen servant leave footsteps or not?
No,
is it like a?
It floats.
Oh, it floats. It's like a ghost. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting.
What's the range on it though?
15 feet.
How many?
15.
15. Okay.
Okay then. So what do you think, Trielos?
Could just try to get their attention and try to talk to them.
I mean, good, but I wouldn't trust someone that's just standing in the cold at night, or like, you know.
All right.
That's weird.
What do you
Like,
what do you what do you intend? What do you intend after we sneak up to them?
Oh, I just want to know what they are. I don't mean to engage them in any way. I just want to make sure that they're not some orc or something like Duke mentioned. Did I hear that? I didn't hear that, right?
But I mean, I'm presuming you told. Well, I mean, you didn't tell them, Sigris, what Duke said it was.
Oh shit! Yeah. So yeah.
Your child appeared.
Yeah. I absolutely would have given Letitia a full accounting.
Okay. So then I think. So I stand
I
by
would
what I just.
I would have stressed. I would have also stressed the fact that no outright violence was ever confirmed by any of the people who've given me his accounts. It might just be that he ranges these hills and wants to make sure people aren't littering.
Yep.
Well, if you just want to take a look, still. Seems kind of excessive, but well, if it will.
I mean, you could just step closer.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, could you, Sir Gris, just light up your lantern? Would it help in any way?
I mean, it would illuminate him. It would reach him. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea
what's the
range on this thing is, but it seemed very powerful.
The lantern,
it gets more every time. Every time you use it, it adds another foot on it.
I mean, we could also do that.
I did suggest that to Duke,
but
he felt it could potentially escalate things.
Indeed, it could even attract more creatures.
All right. Well, I'm ready to go if you want.
Let's stay stealthy. Okay, so I'm going to cast invisibility on myself, and then on Trielos.
Before you do, can I suggest you both climb into the wagon first, and then cast it inside?
We established that we hide behind the wagon, so we cannot be seen.
I was hesitant earlier to ask about it because it's a meta thing, but if you don't have anything special, invisibility is a concentration thing. That's why I asked if you are sure that you can cast it on us both. Because I was not sure how you're going to do it.
You upcast it.
Yeah, but he cannot. We have second level.
Oh, it is concentration, and it needs an eyelash encased in gum arabic. I don't even have that. Where do I find that?
You've got your arcane focus, so that's fine. So you don't need the thing.
Okay. You're right.
No, DM, make him go back and buy gum arabic.
So you can only cast it on one person at the moment because you are noobs.
Oh man!
All that discussion.
You can cast.
I mean, okay, if they're 60 feet from us and you want just to take a look at them, we're close enough to support you if anything goes wrong. I can be there in no time.
Okay, then I have an easier way of doing it. What I'm going to do, DM, is I'm going to cast Disguise Self on myself and make myself an outfit that is like very white and fluffy, like just whiteness, pure white, like the snow, same thing. Okay, so that way I'm more stealthy. So do I need to do like a stealth check or something before moving?
I will give you a stealth check with advantage on that.
Okay. Let's see.
So you might still absolutely fuck it.
So
but-
I
could,
would
but I mean, that's
imagine
the game, right?
I would imagine that
18.
we swap places, so to say. Like we make it look like I'm changing Lutetia right now,
Sure.
Yeah.
and then when she goes back, she does that.
Okay.
Okay.
If 1 second. 'Cause I don't know what's going to come up here, so I don't necessarily want to type in it. So I'm just going to do a d20 and add in stats.
Oh, and before Lutetia goes, I will establish a connection, though it is very limited in time.
Okay. So I can hear you in my head. Can I answer?
Yes, you can, and it would be number of miles doesn't matter. Equal. Okay, so it's 4 minutes now.
Okay.
So you've cast Disguise Self, and you are pure white to match the snow outside.
Nice.
With-
so I
With
will try.
a mottling of grey for the rocks, and yeah, it's a nice little outfit you've got going on.
Okay. So I will try to move towards the figure 5 feet by 5 feet until I see hint of a reaction or something. And if I don't see anything until I'm close enough to make up the figures a bit more, then I just try to check what they are.
Okay. As you step closer and closer, and don't necessarily seem to be reacting. Hold on 1 second. Well, I'm not sure whether this is going to give you artwork. Well, it should give you artwork, but whether it'll give you the name, I don't know. But we will see.
If it is just a show artwork module, then it should not.
I feel like it's got its name at the top, but hey ho, it is what it is.
Yeah, even if... No, we don't.
Excellent.
Okay. And so do I recognize what this looks like? Is it familiar to me?
Then you also see, stood next to it, a huge...
It's gonna be a bear. I
Cat.
knew it's gonna be a bear.
That's the strangest cat I've ever seen.
Roll me a perception check.
Oh, for the other bear.
Okay, mon ami.
Clever girl.
Okay. I will say, from where you are, really kind of like look at it keenly. You see a heavy red stripe from the top of its head straight down its face across one eye that kind of like goes diagonally across over one eye down the side of its face. And it seems that the same is on the bear as well.
Okay.
You kind of notice it on the bear first because this stark red against its face, and then you kind of see that the orc has the same.
Okay. So I know it's an orc then.
Yes, I'll give it that you've seen orcs enough that you know it's an orc and
Okay.
dressed pretty much like that.
Is he carrying any weapons?
With that, not that you can see.
Okay.
The closer you've got, you're going to be kind of getting a bit closer to him. He's not like stood right on the edge, so he's a little bit obscured.
Okay.
He's just standing still, looking,
what I'm
seemingly
going to
looking
do
still, seemingly looking at the wagon.
I'm going to take my crossbow and shoot. I'm just kidding. I'm going to go back and report.
Just like, mother.
Okay, you can. Yes, so you tell You explain that to everybody. I will say that anybody who is awake can, if you want to see if you know anything about them, can roll me a history or religion.
What?
Yeah,
He's come back and relayed this, has he?
I think you just said that you were going to tell them, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them everything and say that Duke was right. It's the orc.
So you can make
it
history
seems
or
to
what?
be the orc.
Religion.
Motherfucker. That didn't even. If that animate, how about animated Ben? If I'd rolled like that at a table, everyone would tell me I hadn't rolled that dice and to do it again. It nearly fucking just dropped vertically onto the number it gave up. Motherfucker.
Is anybody else rolling? Just Sigris?
Suppose you are asleep, aren't we?
I mean, Tyrelos might. Well, Tyrelos is awake, but he might presume that he wouldn't know anything about stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Leticia, it's up to you whether you want to do a roll.
I can. Yes. Okay. Can
You can do religion or history.
Yes. History, of course. Yeah.
Okay. I will say that as you come back and you're relaying it, you also relay information that from what you've read, that you've picked up on from somewhere, about different dangerous creatures and magic and everything else. That something stands out about orcs with these kind of like markings across their eyes, and it would possibly denote that they are what is considered to be an orc eye of Grumsh. Grumsh being the deity that a lot of violent and aggressive orcs worship. And with a 22, whilst you don't know the ins and outs of the tribes because it's still a bit specific, what you do know is about the orc eye of Grumsh is that they have to slay an elf as part of it, and they pluck out one of their own eyes. That's kind of like part of this ritual that they do, and they are known to be magic users, which isn't necessarily all that common outside of kind of like like a tribe shaman and stuff. But they are not a shaman. They are kind of like religious zealot almost. So you know a bit, you've read a bit, you can kind of like recall that, but that's about the extent of it.
Okay, so I say that to the boys.
Well, that surely does not sound good.
Not at all.
Suppose we should remain alert.
Should we try and jump him before he prepares something or warns his friends? Or should we just try to outrun him?
You didn't see anyone else, did you?
Not that I can see, but the cliff is quite high, right? So I cannot really see what's behind the cliff, DM, right?
No.
Yeah, so I can only see him, but maybe there are some others just behind the cliff. We can't know for sure.
And we don't travel with any elves after all. So we may be of no interest to them.
So you said that they hunt elves and then they pluck one eye, right? But these guys already lost their eyes, right? Because they have like the big scar. So
they pluck out their own eye as part of their devotion to Grumsh.
Every time they kill an elf.
Every time they're not elf hunters by any means, but that is part of what they do for this ritual, this declaration of faith, I guess. And they slay the elf in Grumsh's name.
So advantage being attacked on the blind side.
Yeah.
Cycle round.
And this is kind of like symbolic. I mean, Grunch is a big enough deity that Grunch has also lost one of his eyes in a battle against his greatest enemy, Corellon, who's one of the other deities, one of the greater deities of the Faerunian pantheon.
Wow, we learned stuff.
Mm.
So, what happens if a Cyclops wants to be a follower of Grumsh?
Wow, I mean, you are asking all the big questions here.
The most important questions here at kind of the Frostmaiden.
Stumbling around, so devoted, but can't do fuck all. That's what we're doing.
You guys already know I prefer the offense, but if you want to try a more sneaky or maybe cowardly approach, I'm listening.
That's not a loaded statement whatsoever.
The offense?
Are we sure that we want to clash with those two?
We should maybe wake up Eileen first, so she's part of the decision process.
I am
Before
inclined to
trusting
agree
her
with
into battle.
Trillilios. Our guide was not tremendously alarmed. He was aware of this figure. He had heard about him. And he even made a point of saying that many have seen him and travelled by unmolested. We may be inviting trouble unnecessarily.
That's a good point.
Sigris falls to the floor, clutching his head. Do you hear that, Trillilios? Did you hear it?
Mm?
Lutetia said I had a good point. Oh.
Well, the way I see it right now, I mean, we can of course still follow with what Letitia wants to do. Other than that, either we try and make contact and try to talk to them, or we just wait it out and keep an eye on them through the night as possible. But the only problem with the only problem with that is that we do not have anyone who would see in the dark for the third watch.
That's a good point.
Unless one of you takes the double and makes up for it
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I wouldn't be able to sleep anyway, knowing we're being watched. They had my share of people coming to me in my sleep, so I will just do a double shift.
All right. I assume we don't want to bring further attention to us then?
Indeed. Alex, if I do a double shift, that means I just get a short rest instead of a long rest, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I mean, you can effectively try and sleep on the road, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
in that case, I suppose it's better if no one stays alone, so I would wake up Cat now and have him assist me. And then you can wake up Duck. Or the third one.
Sure. Is
Okay.
that how we want to go?
Sure.
Okay. So Letitia's going. So are you trying to stay awake straight through then? Are you not sleeping at all, Letitia?
I mean, if Rielos is now going with Cat, I can just try to get some shut eye and then do the third watch.
Okay, cool. Then Sigris, I guess, nestles into
Cat.
Cat.
Nah, yeah, I'm staying in my wagon.
Yeah.
I imagine my sleep, not from a resting or stat point of view, but I imagine my rest will be light and somewhat fretful now it is on my mind.
Sure. You struggle. I mean, it's not comfortable anyway, but it's getting later. It's that kind of not done anything all day, but my body just really wants to just, you've kind of like been holding yourself in an upright position all day and trying to kind of like, you realize that being on the road in a wagon, you are so constantly trying to keep yourself balanced as you're being rocked about everywhere. It's more exerting than you actually think. And so you can just get a comfy spot, and even though your mind is, racing, you keep an eye out over, looking out the wagon every so often. It's just the dim light of the lantern just slowly manages to catch you, and you drift off. Letitia, you are also embraced by some sleep. Takes a while. You're kind of like watching Sir Gris kind of like nod off, and as his eyes start going, it's like making you go a little bit as well, and you kind of like drift off a little shortly after. And so it is. It is Turelios, and did you say you're waking Ket up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I would. And I'll quickly try to explain the situation to him.
And
bring him up to speed.
Yeah. Let's see whether Ket knows anything about him. Ket. I don't think he's got training in him either. Okay, just doing an intelligence check. No. Well, doesn't sound good, but I guess all we can do is stay alert, right? And he has his short sword drawn and just has it resting.
Hopefully we
on
can.
His lap.
Hopefully we can wait them out and then leave the area.
And then into the kind of like watching for a little while into your watch, you see the figure just drift away, like kind of steps back from the cliff. And all this time you've been kind of like keeping an eye on it, casting a glance up and down, but then quickly kind of watching him again, and then you just see him step away. Can you roll me a perception check, please?
Well, I liked him there. A straight roll.
Yeah. Okay. Sometime after he's gone, time's passed, and you feel on an edge.
Mm-hmm.
Not nice, not knowing where he is.
Yep.
Just the idea that he could have even circled around. He could now be on the cliff. That you're next to, just looking down on your wagon, little dim light below. He could be in the shadows, coming down the valley with his bear. He could be gathering people. Could have had a tribe of people, and they're just waiting to flank you. And you look into the shadows, and you can only see so far. You can see like rock outcrops that look like shapes, and every so often, as you look away, you look back and it's like, is that another rock, or was that one there before? And then you kind of find yourself counting the rocks. Everything that you can see, there's 3 rocks over there, there's 2 rocks, and that one's a little bit lower than that one. And starting to kind of like really, get concerned that you could get attacked at any moment. And you hear something just out of the wagon ahead of you. Like away, like towards where the cliff was, where he was, you hear something, but you just, I don't know, like a change in the wind or something out in front of you.
Well, Cat, did you catch that as well? There's been a sound.
And then he shakes his head and looks out to where he's saying, "No, I didn't hear anything. Do you want me to go and check it out?"
Yeah, well, I'll go forward. If there's any danger, I'll probably see it sooner than you might.
All right, I'll
Just keep an eye and stay alert.
Okay.
And I'll start walking. Maybe with giving myself a bit of an trying to circle around it a bit.
Sure.
Trying to get it from an angle.
And as you're kind of like approaching into the darkness, it's just white snow everywhere, and you're looking around, and just there's nothing there. And then as you look back towards the wagon, you see the dim light. Suddenly, everything goes silent. Again, that time that you experienced it on the road with Jenna, just nothingness around, and you can see your clothes blowing around in front of you, and the powdered snow just lifting off the floor, and the wagon kind of like rocking a little bit and Ket's just watching it, and there's nothing, no sound whatsoever.
Do I see Cat?
You can see him, yeah, he's still there. Everybody's still there.
Try to reach out to him in the mind.
Okay, sure. And what do you say?
What's happening?
And as soon as you say that, then almost straight away the just starts coming again, and the thought, the connection that you had almost tethered, just kind of like strips away, and then Ket's just still looking at you, and you don't connect with him. He's like watching you. Is there anything there?
Doesn't look that way. No.
Turn of the wind, then. We're all getting on edge.
That's true.
Come on. Must be bloody cold out there. I mean, I know it doesn't bother you, but even so, it's making me cold just watching you.
I'll take another glance at the area before me.
Roll me a perception check. I'll let you listen and look. Looking up and down. The same 3 rocks are over there, the same 2 rocks are over there, nothing on the cliffs. Everything seems fine. You return to the wagon?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay.
So we are. Yeah, I will.
Okay. And climbing back into the wagon, Ket just kind of rubbing his arms a little bit, rubbing his chest. I'll be happy when we move on. The night drops the temperature so much more. I hate it. I hate not being able to see anything.
Yeah, that is a problem, but it's certainly not the biggest one right now.
Well,
Nothing we can do about it now, I suppose. We had some options before, but now it's just it's nothing around. I will have to wait it out.
And he just nods. He's not really giving much small talk or anything on this watch.
Sure, yeah, I'll keep my hand on the orb that lies somewhere within my stuff.
Sure.
I don't know if it's a pocket or a pouch.
Okay.
I'll just keep hand.
For comfort,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. And the rest of the watch passes without issue. And then I believe it is Letitia and waking up Duke, I believe, to do the final watch. It happened. And as you wake,
planned all along.
and as you wake Duke up, and he kind of like steps out, and he's like rubbing his eyes and kind of like appraising him of what happened and who you believe it was, and he kind of comes to the back of the wagon and sees Letitia awake and
Don't get any funny ideas.
nothing like that. Look, I'd love to have a chat with a lovely lady such as yourself, but even now I'm not stupid enough for that. I think keeping quiet and keeping focused, that's more important now.
You have a brain after all.
And he climbs into the back of the wagon and looks at Torelios and says like, my tent's already set up if you want to sleep in there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I suppose. Oh, okay. Now, how does it look from the perspective of would me being in the tent make it so that me and Eileen are kind of grouped up more?
Yeah.
Than it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, I will get to the tent.
Cool. And Duke goes around to the front of the wagon and comes back with his crossbow and climbs into the back and just sat there with it, just resting on the ledge. He's kind of like, I guess, almost facing across from Letitia. He's looking up one path, she's looking up at the other, and he's just watching. And Torelios heads back to the tent. Ket gets the remainder, goes off almost straight away. Gets the remainder of his sleep, and Duke is just sat there in an awkward silence with Letitia. And, after like 15 minutes, he reaches into his flask and inside of his jacket, unders his flask and offers it to Letitia. Keeps the cold off your chest.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Right, you are. And he has a big swig of it, and then looks at it, and then has another big swig, and puts the cap back on, tucks it away. Like, so, what brings a girl like you to a place like this? And then he smiles and just looks out at the road, and then that's it. Like, it's not even. He's just trying to take the piss, and then he just kind of like cuts off the conversation and just starts looking down the road.
Okay. Can I just commend you on seeming to have him communicate solely in lines that I feel like are straight out of either the Geordie Shore or Biker Grove. Everything this guy says is a soundbite.
Ah, no way, man. I win. Okay, roll me one last perception check, Letitia, with advantage. The final watch. Actually, yeah, with advantage, that's fine.
I don't feel like he's helping me, but okay.
He's listening. He's listening out. I mean, you don't have to roll advantage if you don't want. Snob.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't even need it.
He is. You kind of like keep watch, and even though he has no dark vision that you know of, he is just stalwartly staring down back the way you've came. Just this endless stare, and every so often you feel like you're kind of like watching, but you like keep catching a glance of him, and you realize that he rarely blinks. It's really weird. He's just staring and staring. Like the wind just constantly throughout the watch. The wind blowing around and like getting in your eyes. He's just kind of like just staring, ready, poised.
Okay.
But unless there's anything you wish to say
Nope.
to Duke,
Not to him. Nope.
then the rest of the watch passes uneventfully. There is no sight or sound of anything, and day starts breaking. Duke has kind of like relayed to you that he would prefer it if everybody ate on the road whilst they're moving. Then, and kind of like while he's sorting out the horses, packing up his tent, says like, we can stop for a little break later if you want to have something hot. Otherwise, we'll just keep pushing through the day. Get one more camp. And this is while everybody's up now and everybody's kind of like packing up the bits and stuff.
We should probably try to get as much.
Absolutely. A hot meal can wait.
Yes. We should get out of here.
I'm getting my long rest.
Yes, you can have your long rest. Everybody can have a long rest. Letitia can have a short rest.
I mean, I don't think I've done literally anything since our last rest, but I will apply it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, same.
And, that was the note I've got here. Add 13 HP on long rest. So yeah, I'll do that again. That's standard procedure now.
Just keep adding 13 HP every day. He just levels up every rest.
Fucking hell, who gets 13 HP at every level up?
I have a question, DM.
Yes.
Technical question. So my pact magic. That's like I have one spell slot for that, but I have no spells under it into Foundry. But is that like every first level spell I have anyway? That's considered pact magic?
So, stuff that is, hey guys, guess what? She's a warlock.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You just announced you have pact magic.
I took a feat to have pact magic. What's up?
Oh, did you?
Wait,
okay.
Which feat was that?
The warlock pact boon thingy feat that I got from Untitled Arcana. Yeah.
No, there is one because I was looking at one for one of my characters recently.
Yeah. I just need to remember the name. Hang on.
Eldritch Initiate or something like. Yeah, but I know what you mean because it's one of those, isn't it? Where it's like, you can take any pack as long as you meet the prerequisites, and then almost all of them are like have Eldritch Blast. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
I think we've just clarified that the DM really needs to start looking at your character sheets when you level up, because I now actually don't even know what you've all gone into. Okay, I will have to. Do you know what? I really should. I know that because you changed. You were gonna go chef, weren't you? And I actually don't even know what you went into in the end. There's only Eileen I know what she's leveled up with. I don't really know what everybody else has done.
I took a boring +2.
Yeah, I took an ASI this time.
Okay.
Boring.
Well, I should probably check everybody's character sheets after the session. Okay. As far as pact magic goes, pact magic works different to spell slots. Pact magic, you have so many pact magic slots, and then you can use them to cast any level of a spell at any level that is granted to you by your feat. So you could cast a level 1 spell or a level 6 spell if you have a level 6 spell. It still takes one pact magic slot. And you recover one of them at a short. I think I don't know whether it still works the same with the feat as it does with the class, but you recover them on short rests as well as long rests.
Okay.
There you go. Right then. So you're out on the road again, guys. Day two, out on the road. Sir Grim again. In the big wagon house. This makes no sense apart from to me and Harrison. In the UK, Big Brother was for a long time narrated by a Geordie. Day number 10 in the Big Brother house.
For some time, I think he was always, wasn't it? He even moved to Channel 5. They paid to move Marcus Bentley over to the new channel.
I don't think he does it now, though, does he?
Well, no, I'm sure they scrapped it like 3 years ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I don't think he did. I'm not sure if he did the last ones. Anyway, this is beside the point.
No, let's look it up. Yeah, hold on. I'm fairly certain Marcus Bentley. Let me just check. Yeah.
To make this moment more useful, Eldritch Adept does not seem to confer spell slots.
Okay.
It gives Eldritch evocations, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't want to correct Harrison on stream because otherwise, that would confirm a lot of stuff. So.
Okay. So, is there anything you guys wish to do or say or talk about the night before? Plans, preparations for the road ahead?
No, just keeping a keen eye out behind us. Well, in fact, if a wagon even affords me the ability to do that. I'm not sure if it's like an open back or doorway wagon.
It's an open back. There's obviously canvas slats for folding down.
It's a cowboy wagon then, yeah?
It's a cowboy wagon, yeah. Every wagon in Icewind Dale is pretty much going to be a covered wagon.
Cool. I'm going to be keeping an eye firmly on the cliffs on the road behind us to see if we're being followed or observed as we go, or trailed.
Okay, roll me... Do you know what? Roll me a perception check with advantage, because at some point somebody's going to be helping you watch.
I help.
Okay. So Gris is keeping an eye on the rear. Who's riding up front with Duke?
If nobody wants to.
I mean, Ket can if you want Ket to be up there. If you four want to be in the back for once.
I'm fine continuing, but it's not a big point for me.
Okay, well, we'll put Ket up front.
Sure.
If nobody's got anything they want to say to Ket or Duke, if everybody's just kind of like ominously staring into the snow, I will allow another person to do an assisted one, given that there's four of you, if you're doing very little else. So either Letitia, Eileen, or Torelios can do a perception check with advantage.
All right.
Do you want to give it a shot?
Yeah, sure. With advantage. Our advantageous perception.
So listening, and this is just kind of around your immediate area. It's not quite a blizzard that you're in, but it's pretty restrictive snows. It feels like whether it's just got colder or worse overnight. Again, this gradual hardship on the road, and there comes a point on the road where Duke looks back and says, "Right, I need you to spread yourselves evenly on each side of the wagon. We're coming up to a bit of a narrow bit on the pass.
Right, time to brace ourselves.
Normally not too bad, but it's a little bit slidey and a little bit harder to see. So,
sounds promising.
I'm so bracing myself.
Any of you done much riding before? Driven a wagon?
Oh,
Good with animals? Anything? None of you.
I'm afraid not.
Cat should be good with animals.
Yeah, no, Ket's alright. Ket's a rider as well. Okay, well, they kind of like get to it, and you can like anybody that's kind of like looking out the front. You can see that it goes pretty narrow. It goes to like still only, probably about 15 feet wide. This slip, and it's not like a sheer cliff or anything. It's just a slip off down into the embankment, which you really don't want to end up going down. And kind of like peering out, and he says, "I think it might be best if one of you gets out of the wagon and tries to guide us through. Takes the lamp."
For this moment alone was I made.
Nice, yeah.
I will.
picture the widening of the eyes at the mention of the word lamp.
Oh,
Lantern.
I can do that. The more visibility, the better in this moment, yes?
Aye, in this moment.
Yeah, so I will
Good.
get out and precariously walk around. I want to just cast one more look from the back of the wagon to my surroundings before I go. And then, yeah, I will head to the front. And when when Duke can see me, I will... will the horses be alright with a bright light?
And you kind of like,
This is not a normal lantern.
oh, well, I mean, I reckon so. Just light the it, right?
Fireball. Yeah, I mean, I can choose how much I want it to like bullseye or not. So I'll put it into a cone facing forward. You know, quite a wide,
Sure.
quite a wide cone, and then I will shine and have it grow to be 60 foot bright, 60 feet dim beyond that.
Nice. Is Gris? Nobody's gone out there with him. He's leading the wagon on his own, yeah.
You sure you're all right on your own out there?
I mean, I'll presume from where Duke can see me, can't he?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. If anything happens to me, I'm sure Duke will let you know immediately.
Right. So you three in the back to try and spread the weight. You've got two of you on one side, one of you on the other, and you've kind of like moved a few crates and bags over to the other side to kind of like balance things by eye out evenly, and like a torch bearer heading into the snow. Sir Grace's cape just kind of... You wear a cape, right? It's kind of like your character.
Yeah.
Cape's like just kind of blowing in the gust, and he's got this this lantern held out ahead of him, like leading a funeral procession almost. He's kind of like walking slowly, and the wagon is creeping forward, and Ket is kind of over one side looking down, and then every so often Duke is looking down the other. Okay, I'm going to ask Sir Gris, you're kind of like heading forward and looking for where the path might shear off, like if there's any I don't know, patches of slick ice or crumbling parts of the road that look like you need to kind of like move away from. And I will say, Sir Gris, can you roll me? I'll say either survive. So I'll say survival or I'll say survival, nature, or perception. I'll let you roll any of them. I'm going to call it a DC 10.
Oh, motherfucker. He did something good.
Look at our boy! Look at our boy!
So, Gris, you managed to avoid following the wagon as it tumbled.
So as you are heading out, you guys are kind of like peering through the wagon past Ket and Duke, and then past the horses, and you just see the illuminated figure of Sir Gris out in the distance. It's lighter, but the snow is still kind of like almost like trying to kind of cover him up. Can you all roll me a perception check, please?
No.
That is literally the first perception check I think I've done that's been higher than a 10 this campaign. I have a +0 to my perception, and I have rolled bad.
Oh no, 8.
Sir Gris, Tyrelos, Eileen. On the wind, as it's kind of swirling around Sir Gris, and you just hear... And it's kind of like you kind of hear it, Sir Gris, coming from the side of you. and it kind of like goes behind your head and off onto the wind. Like there is this whispering gust that's kind of like stirring around you. There's like this unnatural uneasiness, and you kind of like look back to the wagon, and the horses seem to kind of skitter slightly, and Ket and Duke are unsure what's going on. I'm going to let Duke roll me a dexterity check. Bear with 1 second, as the horses start to skitter.
Am I able to ready an action at this point, or is that are we before
Sure.
anything like that? I obviously would not be holding my shield at the moment. I'll be carrying my lantern, so my shield's on my back. I would like to draw the axe cautiously with the other hand, and if I feel anything pass, if a whisper sort of passes what feels like immediately next to me again, I'm just gonna swing out with it, even if I can't see anything.
Okay, cool. Bear with me 1 second.
The invisible kobold is killed.
As the horses start skittering, you all in the back suddenly feel the wagon shifts like that. The horses sidestep, and the wagon kind of like jolts and pulls a little bit to the left, and you kind of like, you all kind of like suddenly hold on. And you guys in the back can hear this whispering and whirring sound, but it's like Ket and Duke don't seem to pay any notice to it. Letitia, you don't hear anything either. Is there anything else you wish to do at the moment, other people's?
Yeah, to Duke, I'm like, there's something nearby. Someone's whispering and passing me. I presume he just sees me suddenly pull my axe out anyway and, like, look concerned.
Yeah. Sure.
It's my lantern axe. Just ready yourself in case the horses try to bolt. There's something unnatural nearby. Do you not hear it?
Do we hear it?
Yeah,
I think everybody except the
Me and you.
NPCs. Didn't you say that Duke and Ket don't notice it?
They don't notice it, but
Yeah.
Duke looks out to you and says, just stay calm. He doesn't say it in that accent because that's Ket. Just stay calm. That's a Bethic.
Indeed. A Bethic? What is that?
Just stay calm.
Very well. Should I put the weapon away?
But walk a little... No, keep it out just in case, but let's move a little bit quicker.
Okay. I will not go with my my held action from this point.
And as you are, you kind of feel it kind of like puts, and like the horses take a bit of a step a little bit quicker, and if I mean you're going to have to move a little bit quicker, otherwise you're going to get mowed down. It's kind of like put you to almost a slight jog in front of them. Can you roll me another perception check as you are looking from one place to the next? And this is while this is going on, this is kind of like a few minutes and. Kind of hearing it coming past.
You broke up quite a lot when you said that. It made it quite funny.
Right. And you just hear it. You hear this Bethic, whatever it is, sweeping past you. Still, can you make me? Oh, was that your perception check? 12.
Yeah.
Nice. And you manage to keep going. And there's a few times where Duke has to alter course a little bit, but you do a great job of guiding for a few minutes, and he is like bated breath. There's no sound coming from him or Ket. Eileen and Turielos. What? Yeah. It sounds angry, this whisper that keeps coming through. But you keep going, and you keep going, Sir Gris, and then there's a point where Duke's like, right, get back on here, now.
Straight on. As I'm walking past him, making to the back, like, do I kill the light?
Kill the light.
It's off. and I straight back up into the back.
And she cracks the horses, and you feel it as you're kind of like getting. You feel it jerk and like kind of like almost knocks you off as you're kind of climbing in. And he is taking off with a little bit more confidence or devil may care to move away. And you kind of as soon as the light goes off, and as soon as the speed pulls up, whether it's one or the other, and like kind of like the sound that was kind of like harassing around you, Sir Gris, just disappears off into the winds behind you.
Straight to the hatch. What in the hells was that? What's a Bethic? A spirit of some sort?
Something like that. Yeah, spirit of the mountain. Travels on the winds and the snows. You don't... It's not that often you get them. And he's got this perplexed look about him.
Is it the second legend that we meet in the spread of 2 days?
I mean, not so much legends, we kind of know they exist, but just not that common. Especially this far away from the spine. You kind of expect it a little bit closer there when you're heading through the valley, but not here, especially not at a place like that, on that bit of the road. That could have gone pretty bad. You did well out there, Sir Gris. And kind of like looks over his shoulder as it's kind of gone, just gives you a nod.
Eyes on the road. I'll keep an eye at the back.
Are they meant to be specters? Or ghosts?
Couldn't tell you. I've no idea. They don't ever really attack you. Just harass you and spook the horses and, try to make you throw a wheel or trap you out in the cold. They do everything they can to throw you off the road and, get folk lost in the blizzards and whatnot. Not nice things, but you don't want to be hanging around them for too long.
I don't understand what you mean.
Anyway, we'll keep heels to the horses. Keep them pushing for a little longer. Road gets a little bit wider, a little bit easier, but just a bit harder to see. We'll push till night. There's only going to be one place that we can camp, really. There's likely where your friends parked when they were on their way up. Yeah. To be quite honest, I'd have expected to pass them now, if not later today. No reason they shouldn't be making the return journey. And
just have to live to see it.
And so you all carry out on the road, and the blizzard's getting a little worse. 2 people, whoever did it last time, roll me perception checks. I'm gonna call them flat. So the it's harder to see, but you've got advantage cancelled out by disadvantage. So just a flat perception check, if you please.
Who?
Whoever rolled last time, was it you and Sir Gris?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Back to it now. Back to it.
Alright, it's not your fault. It's getting pretty
You
hard.
roll performance.
What?
Fool.
Performance. So you got a
I
6.
think it's the same anyway. It's about a performance.
Yeah.
If I had a 0.
Yeah, make it a 6.
Yeah. So you travel in. Hardly once night kicks in, there is almost zero visibility going through the snow. You would never make this journey with a wagon. And no chance. It's only the very fact that Duke knows these roads and seems to be as good a driver as he claims But he wasn't lying when he said that this is a terrible journey to make, and nobody should make it. As night started to fall, there's not any sign of the wagon returning. It has not come back this way, so it would seem you've not passed it. Even to the point where you pull off the road, and again it is another slight lay-by, and this area, it kind of comes off the road and it goes down into almost deeper. These cliffs go like a lot higher, and it has this slight switchback. You come off the road and it goes down a hill a little bit, and then cuts back on itself at the bottom of this little hill. And but you're otherwise almost in like a bowl, just like walls on all sides. And Duke says like, this is the last stop before we make it to the Spain tomorrow. We've not seen them on the road, and they're not here. So I don't know what's happened. Maybe they got stuck up that way. It's a little, maybe they got trapped in the snow further up, waiting for it to pass or something.
Hey, the weather has gone pretty bad.
Think we can do to help them if we don't meet them on the road?
And Duke pulls in the wagon and kind of points, kind of has his lamp and gestures out in the distance. So you've kind of like come down this ramp bit, turned back on yourself, and then he points directly ahead. He's like, "Don't stray too far that way." And you're kind of like looking, and again here, this spot is picked because it keeps you out of the snow a little bit. So there's not as much snow piling down, and the whiteness, you kind of like see the whiteness, and then it just drops off, and there's like a ledge that drops off into God knows what. Like, that's a long drop if you head too far. So just be mindful and be careful.
So do ourselves warned. Thank you for pointing it out.
What was that?
Aye.
I missed that.
She said thank you. She said consider us warned. Thank you for pointing it out.
Yeah, the first part. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And it's pretty dark, and Duke has the light switched on. You can kind of see the immediate vicinity. There's a couple of snow-covered thick pines dotted around the area, but it's otherwise quite self-contained, only seemingly one way in off the road, unlike the last stopping point. One way in, and you're otherwise surrounded by these deep walls. You're like a lot closer to the spine here. The terrain is a lot more fierce, and kind of looking up, it's probably 50, 60 feet high. This part of the cliff wall where you're at, and you've been able to tell like that the wagon, it's been switchbacks and kind of like trails winding to climb a little bit, and then it stretches out like a bit of a plateau, and you can feel that the incline has been slow but steady, and the wagon is pulled up, and I guess through the day, Letitia slept on and off, so you can give yourself an extended rest. You can take that off now.
Okay. How do I do that? Do I just do a long rest, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, long rest, yeah.
Okay.
Extended rest. Look at this guy stuck living in the edge of the empire. Honestly,
I know. Can't help myself.
It's dead, man. Get over it.
So, who's planning on camping, and who's staying in the wagon?
Wagon for me.
The arrangement seemed to work well last night, unless anybody has any objections. I don't feel like one is a better option, isn't it? Isn't like we're being in the wagon, being like sleeping in the bed and making everybody else keep on the couch?
I mean, it's not too bad. It's kind of whatever you want to do. There's very little visibility from the back of the wagon, just because of where you are, because there's this like winding road down. This ledge that's at the side of you kind of restricts your vision to the road. And
question, DM.
Mm.
I'm not familiar with these sorts of wagons. Could someone? I know that it would be cold and windy. Could someone safely sit on top?
No.
No. Okay.
It's canvas with frames.
Okay. And so you're saying they could, but only for about half a second.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So he says anyone that's going to be taking watch might want to be a bit more of a patrol out in the cold. Not really got good eyes for a vantage point or nothing here.
Mm-hmm. Either way, I'll stay a bit longer. I have something to do. And I suppose... do we pair up in any way, or...
Do you what?
Always,
Do we pair up?
I would presume so.
Yeah.
The last time we did a watch, we took watches by ourselves. I was very nearly engulfed by those giant spiders, was I not? I think pairs is always the safer option for the entirety of this campaign, and by that I mean our campaign up north.
That seems to be the thing that's been working out better for us. I see as I'm already starting to put up my tent.
As long as we travel with enough people to do that, yes.
I'm sorry, you could join us, but then we have an odd number. We need even numbers for our teams.
Well, I have a little ritual that I'd like to do, so I would be occupied. I suppose it can wait till tomorrow. Yeah, it's not a place where we can, I suppose, let our guard down. So, whoever wants to keep me company.
Well, if you're not saying no to some company, I can keep watch with you.
Yes, I'd like that.
And can everybody roll me a perception check?
Everybody.
Concern rising.
It's something.
Okay. There is when you kind of like pull up and pull up the wagon, and you're all kind of stood there, and it's not as windy here. You know, so much so that I'm going to turn the wind sound down a little bit.
Oh, my ears. My
Treat.
sweet, beautiful ears.
I don't even need music, just need wind all the time. That's all we do. I would say Trielos and Agi. And, sorry, Leticia, who is still Aginman's character. Brilliant. You two pick up on it. Once you've kind of like stopped and everybody's kind of like, I don't know, getting off the wagon and stretching their feet a little bit, you know, you've been on the road a little bit. There is a smell in the air. And you can't quite put your finger on it at first. I don't know, it's just the lamp's up, the lamp's on, and it's kind of like quite bright. You know, he's not fully dimmed it. Because you're in this kind of like this bowl, then it's not too bad. You know, it's not going to be seen from the road or anything. You're not as exposed. So he's left the lamp burning as normal. And Trelos and Leticia kind of like look at each other like, you can both smell something. And Leticia, it's the smell of burning. Something's burnt.
Okay. Can I guess where it's coming from?
You can. What do you want to do? Do you want to have a look? Do you want to have a sniff around? Do you want to look around?
I'm going to. Can I check what the wind direction is? I guess where the smell is coming from.
You're kind of in a bowl area, so the wind's kind of like just
Oh,
around you everywhere anyway. So roll me an investigation check.
okay. Investigation.
Yeah.
Gonna be hard. Oh,
Nice. As you're sniffing around and looking around and trying to get eyes on this smell, you're walking around and then you just see a mound in the snow where snow has gathered over it, and kind of like bending down, clear it away, moving away the snow. If you wish to, there's a mound in the snow. What do you wish to do with it?
the fact that you made me go to it directly means there is no trap.
All right, led you down the trap.
I will cast my mage hand and make it do the work, and I stay at reasonable distance, maybe 10 feet from it.
So the mage hand is kind of like just brushing away the snow,
Yeah.
and underneath you find a charred black body. Kind of like it looks like there is like its skin is split open and weeped, and then with the cold is like frozen over again, and your eyes look around and you're looking around the area and you find seemingly 3 other similar mounds in the snow.
Is the body humanoid or is it a creature?
Are you gonna go over and give it a look over? Oh, it's human. It's humanoid. It's definitely humanoid that you can see. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get closer and check, like make a thorough inspection. See if they have any equipment that can say who they are, if they look like orcs or humans. I see if I can see some wounds before the burns or something like that, you know?
Whilst all this is happening, everybody else sees Letitia cast Mage Hand and start rifling through the snow. So I guess you are all now able to see what's going on as Letitia goes over. You were trying to do quite a few things there. So tell me, with this body, what you're doing immediately, and I'll let you all choose something that you might want to do. Because you've not announced it to anybody yet, have you? You're just trying to investigate first.
Yes.
Okay. But I think you casting Mage Hand suddenly and then being intrigued by something would probably grab everybody's attention, given that there's nothing else, literally nothing else going on here to keep anyone's attention. So I'll let you choose what you want to do. You lick it, you keep it. What do you want to do first then, Letitia?
I don't know. I'm gonna look if I can recognize what kind of humanoid it is.
Okay, roll me a medicine check.
Don't know what he used to be, but he's a fire genasi now. Oh, that was a journey, that dice roll.
So of the corpse that you are immediately at and kind of like scooping away the snow, it would appear to be human. You know, they are quite severely burned, like their face kind of like melted like into this kind of like twisted, grotesque face. Eyes melted out, ears half burned off, no hair. Their clothing is like either burnt away or there's little patches of it left. They are blackened, blistered bodies. The rest of you, whilst this is going on and Letitia is looking over everybody, have probably, I would presume, noticed that something is amiss.
Letitia? What are you doing over there? I thought we agreed not to stray from one another.
You should come see this. Hurry.
What is?
Hurry, in case they go somewhere.
What is? I was starting to move slowly, but when you mentioned hurry, I'm walking faster.
And
What did you? Oh,
sorry, I'll say that Duke and Ket are at the horses, whilst you were all kind of like having a little wandering around and stretching your legs. So Turilis, Gris, and Eileen are in play, whilst the other two are not.
Right.
I will, seeing that there's now 3 people that are heading to this drift, I will hang near the wagon. Just more watch from afar, keeping an eye on our surroundings. Don't want to get our asses beat while we're all leaning into a snowdrift.
Okay, Eileen, what are you doing? And then Turilis, what are you doing?
I now clearly see that there are bodies in the snow.
Yes, you can. You look around, you can count 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That you can see. It's like 4 obvious mounds that are grouped relatively close to each other.
Oh no.
Well,
I just let out.
this does not bode well for our rest.
Not at all. And I'm rushing to check them over.
And Lutetia is now checking one of the bodies, right?
Yeah.
And only one is clearly uncovered.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess I will summon my own mage hand and see what's underneath the other mounds. I'll try to clear them just enough to see if the other bodies are in the same condition or if any of them have died differently.
Okay.
And are not charred.
Okay, Eileen, what are you doing whilst Kurelos starts clearing away?
I'm approaching cautiously and more looking over Letitia's shoulders, trying to determine how old these things are. Like, cause of death, yada yada. How did they die? How long have they been gathering snow here?
Sure.
Basically, if the thing that's killed these people has killed them recently enough for us to be concerned.
Okay. Then I will say, okay, so first of all, I will call that, I'll go with a medicine check to start with, because you're trying to determine how old the wounds are, etc. Okay. And in the meantime, and there's no real role for you, Turilos. You're just uncovering. So Eileen, what's your checking over what this body that Letitia is also examining? Letitia, you saying you were looking for weapons and stuff like that. You find no weapon on them, but if you can, clearing around, yeah, you kind of like checking their belt and stuff, and then you like clearing away, and you find in their hand, that is their hand and the bone and the metal that looks like it was a blade of some sort is all just melted together and gripped together into this gnarled, kind of like almost one sinuous. This is like extreme heat that has made this happen.
Interesting.
Eileen, I will say that looking over the wounds, you can see where some of the wounds have kind of like they've blistered and exposed, but it doesn't look like they were cauterized by the fire. All of them. Some of them, like it seems like these bodies were on fire for some time, but also there's elements where how much to say? You only rolled an 11. Okay, I will say that they look like the wounds are fresh enough to being within the last few days. Hard to tell. These bodies are pretty stone cold, so they've been here and frozen. But I will say, do you know what? I'm going to say you're watching all this, aren't you, Sigris?
Mm-hmm.
Roll me an investigation check. I'm going to let you kind of like be sciencing it up and just kind of like you're bringing it, taking in the situation. Nice. You're looking over everything, looking over the scene, and it looks like there's not that much snow that's fully covering them. There's like a mild amount that suggests that they've not been here for more than a few days. There's 4 of them here. And the way 3 of them are positioned, the 3 that have already been uncovered, they are lying on their backs, face up in the snow. The 4th one, as Tyrelios uncovers it, is kind of closer to the tree, this tree that's nearby, and they're kind of like slumped over, and they are not burned. It looks to be a human male as you kind of like brush the snow off them, Tyrellos.
Mm-hmm. I will come closer then and start. Would prestidigitation work to get it faster out of the snow? Like either by warming up the snow or
dusting it off.
Or just
It's probably just going to be quicker moving.
I would like to coming over. I sort of cluck my tongue a little bit, and you'll see it. Sigris looks quite troubled. There's no way of saying it that isn't quite crude. Through looking the figures over, does it seem like, unless I've completely understood something, does it seem like one of them might have been a woman, but only one of them?
I mean, of the ones on fire,
there's four total, isn't there?
There's 4 total. Yeah, of the 3 that have been burned, I guess it would be hard to tell until you start, but there are no breasts immediately noticeable, and the figure under the tree is a male.
And that one has not been burned?
That one has not been burned. No.
I would like to go over to it with the express intent and growing unease in my mind, but I'd like to see if it's Shribbits.
As you go over and you look at it, it is not somebody that you noticed, and as Tyros is kind of like still brushing the snow away, you see that it is just pooled blood, all dripping from their back, and it's like kind of all pooled around the bottom of this tree and then just frozen deep red. But it seems that they were attacked from behind and stabbed, seemingly in the ribs.
Looking up, this tree seem normal?
No, it's a knife tree!
Hey, I'm thinking of a very fucking specific... Dark Souls 3, there's a Frosty DLC with fucking terrifying mimic woman witch stabby branch trees. Fuck me. I am suspicious of trees of dead people near them.
I said that flippantly so that when you're in a forest you'll stop being suspicious.
No, I won't. I'll never stop.
The tree seems to be tree-like. It is a smaller pine. Its branches, its bough starts about 8 feet up.
I'm just giving it a single axe blow.
The DM says the tree seems fine.
Yeah. Just giving it a single
entire
axe blow out of
party.
suspicion.
Instantly suspicious.
Yeah, it's a magic. It's a magic word of DM. Seems.
Seems to be okay.
DM,
Okay,
I have a question.
Yes, go.
So we've been traveling 2 full days now, right? So how close are we to the last known location of Sribbits and his buddies?
Yeah.
beyond
Spine
that,
of the world. You should reach the spine of the world tomorrow night.
Oh, so it's tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the third day of travel to get there. If you don't try and push on through the night.
Yeah. So basically, from what I was asking a minute ago, I think if this wasn't them and they've been killed and the orb taken by yet somebody else, I think this is people that they have killed.
Mm-hmm.
I will. Well, so yeah. So I'll hit. There's two things I want to ask, but first I will hit the tree with the axe.
Yeah, it just boom.
Okay. That's
Nice,
fine.
heavy, solid hit, and as whilst all this is happening,
I think we might get fastest results if we ask Duke if he recognizes this man.
well, as you turn around, Ket is already stood there
Hmm.
with his arms crossed across his chest. Orat Jun. That was one of mine. One of the ones I was after.
Oh.
Well, he made that easy for me.
Hmm.
He looks at the others. Says, don't weep too much for him. Multiple murders in Neverwinter. Had a thing for women of the night. Didn't like to pay, though.
Oh.
And
I will hold my axe out to him.
he looks and smiles, and then for later. Goes and looks over at the other bodies, and they are so kind of like burnt and stuff, but he's like having a look over one, opens the mouth, checking the ears. No. I'm looking for a half-elf and an orc. Seems like these three, well, doesn't seem like they're that, at least.
Duke, how many sons was Grimmond traveling
Gaskell.
with? Gaskell traveling with.
And he looks over. He sees these bodies now, and it's like a grim affair. He's looking at it. I was 2 sons. Port and Wellow.
There is a chance. This could be them. What do we?
Sorry.
What do we think that our man and a couple of yours, what, turned on one of their own, or left one behind and carried on with the wagons without the guides, perhaps?
Maybe their guides said that it is too dangerous to continue. Possibly wanted to turn back. That could, I suppose, cause tension enough. If Sribbits was determined enough.
Luke, you also have mentioned that they have no love for spellcasters, did you?
That's right. Why? Was one of them a spellcaster?
You could say that. And I don't think that he's the sort of spellcaster that would prefer to keep his abilities, well, a secret.
Oh, I'm not sure. He did keep it a secret for quite a while. Did keep a low profile near us.
And Ket is looking around. What's everybody? Let's go in order. So, Letitia, what are you doing?
I was muted. Not much, just looking around. On my guard, you know.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check. Eileen, what are you doing?
At this point, I would be trying to find other signs of a struggle or something similar. Not much in the snow, but maybe something around the tree. Something to indicate where the fight took place.
Roll me an investigation check. Kyrillos, what are you doing?
Anyone recognizes how long ago this could have taken place?
I said before a couple of days, I think. DM said.
Can I give myself guidance?
Sure. Yeah, there's no reason why not. I want you to say it out loud. Ask for. Is it a verbal command? Guidance?
I don't know. You've only tapped it on yourself every 5 seconds.
Literally, never used it on myself.
What's the one you always do when you're walking along?
I always do guidance on Cora when she's doing survival.
Ah, what do you say when you do? God.
Usually.
God.
God help me, please.
Today,
I
pray to today's deity.
Yeah, I want to hear some holy mantras to Kellum Vor. Come on, we've got components with these spells, verbals and somatics. I want to hear them, I want to know them. I don't know. Is guidance verbal?
It is. It does say components, but I'm not.
You don't need to. You've got a holy symbol if you're casting as a cleric spell.
Fair enough. Thank you. Okay, let's get to work. And I'm going to say that work is my guidance word. So, D4. You said investigation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Mm.
Okay. While you're looking around, surveying the scene, Tyrelos, what did you say you were doing, sir?
Oh, I asked if anyone knew how long it would have taken since the event took place, and then I was thinking about asking mostly Cat probably, because as far as I know, no one in our group is a skilled tracker as such.
Mm-hmm.
If he would be able to, because they had a wagon with them, and it could leave. I imagine it could leave tracks deep enough to for it to still be able to locate them.
Sure.
And maybe try to see if the wagon went any way, either way, like back or forward.
Sure. Okay. So he gives a nod and says, "I could do with being able to see from having a look around. You want to spare me that lamp for a minute?" And he looks to Duke the lamp on the rod as opposed to taking, and then he looks at Sir Gris and is like, "You've got your own. Might be worth layering up so everybody can see the scene a little better. I'll go and check for tracks."
Fine. And I will actually have it go, have the colour change to ultraviolet so that it shows up.
All the black light. Yeah, nice. There's just stains all over your pants. I will take a watch on my own again. So Ket disappears off with the lantern, and you can kind of see he's not going too far. He's just kind of like having a little look around on the floor while this is going on. And Sir Gris, what is it you wish to do?
I feel like I've kind of been allowing the conversations to be sort of taking place in front of me here. I do not have any active action I would like to do, other than just sort of keeping an eye out and listening to what the others are saying and seeing if there's a head need taken for this guy that Ket's after. Yeah, I'm shadowing at the moment.
Sure. Okay. Okay, so Eileen, you are looking around the area. Letitia, I mean, you're having a little look around. You're not seeing much more. I will say that you find some charred shreds of canvas which is very similar in nature to the tents that you have.
Mhm.
Kind of like heavily burned. Eileen walking around and kind of like looking through the snow from where the body is, trailing it around. You see that it seems like the body was dabbed up against this cliff face, and there looks like there was something of a struggle, and there's like blood spatter around the cliff, blood spatter in the snow now that you can kind of like see, and then it looks like the body was moved. Well, it was from where it was dropped, and like an impression in the snow. It doesn't look like it was dragged to the tree. It looks like it crawled to the tree. So the altercation seemingly started over here, but it was. I'll say with your investigation, I will kind of tie it in with like checking for tracks. It seems that there's heavy footfall around here. There were a lot of people. You can't identify exactly how many were there, but there's a lot of movement, a lot of scuffling around here. Then after a time, Het comes back over and nods. Wagon in, wagon out. Seems like they left the same way. Can't really check to see if they carried on heading north, but don't really fancy heading out there on my own in the dark. But we didn't see them passing us on the way south, so if we're presuming that that's my man and that's the wagoner and his sons, and it seems like 3 people that have no rights driving a wagon might be heading north on their own. And he kind of looks over, comes over to the camp, and is having a look around. Yeah, I'll let him roll a check. Let him roll investigation. He's not massively skilled in it though.
Oh god, what's her name? After the database.
And it's like, hard to say. Struggle. You're saying it happened. Something started over there, Eileen. All right.
Right then.
And he's stroking his chin. So that's a lot of fire. Maybe magic. Makes sense. He's. Seems like your wizard friend might be stronger than we thought. And he goes over and starts looking at the bodies and looks at Sir Gris. It's been mentioned, I believe. Your lantern can. Have you mentioned it around him that his lantern shoots fire?
I don't think so.
No.
Maybe not. So, I know nothing, Sir Gris.
You're damn right. You didn't see nothing neither.
Well, from where they are, seems like they all got hit at the same time. Blown them on their backs, maybe. Looks like they died pretty quick. I guess that's one saving grace. Well, not much else to it. And he heads over to the body of the human he identified as Orat Juan. And he looks over it. And did you say you were offering up an axe?
Yeah, I held the axe out when you wanted to take the head.
And he nods and takes it and says like, "Look away if you're squeamish." And
Nobody looks away.
he takes the body, pulls it over towards the cliff, rests the head on its side on the rocks, lines it up, looks at the blade, nice sharp blade, big axe, and just levers it down into the side of its head and carves clean straight into the side of the head, and then another one going straight through the bone and basically cuts the front of the skull off. Just splits. Doesn't take the head off the neck. Just basically cuts the head in half. Like just blood splatter around. And gets it down and takes a bit of inside membrane off the front of the skull, the face that's still attached to part of this skull, and bit of snow rubs it in, wipes down, like a lot lighter than a head. Got to be a good aim though, otherwise it messes up your whole bounty. And you're just kind of like watching. If you've ever seen somebody cleave someone's face off,
Yeah.
if you've not, now you have.
Gruesome business.
Lighter than carrying your head around, though, I expect.
You sound like a psychopath. Gruesome business.
Probably seen that in the past. I think
It's
my
perfectly fine.
Something along the lines of, how would they identify this?
Identify what?
Over
Face? Head's a head. Face is pretty much a face. If I come back with 3 of them and they look vaguely the same, it's fine. And he's kind of looks down and kind of like got blood on his face, and he picks up a handful of snow and kind of rubs it into his face and washes the blood off.
It's... How effective is it?
What?
The snow, washing blood with snow.
I mean, it's better than using nothing.
Well,
Suppose liquid would absorb into snow, kind of like peeing on snow. So it just kind of like wipes a little bit. He's not like covered in like an absolute. Oh, it's not like Carrie.
Sure. Do you have anything against Magic's cat?
No.
Well, allow me then. And I will prestidigitate him.
And he looks down.
Make them unclean, friend.
And he gives you a nod. I appreciate it.
This entire episode has been certainly surreal. I'm going over to the Duke. Are you okay?
To who? To Duke?
Yes, to Duke.
Yeah. Duck. You all call him Duck, you bastards. I'm alright.
You've mentioned knowing these people.
Oh, I did. But I'll be quite honest. I mean, I don't know who these folks that they were travelling with. But, Gaskell and his lads, they weren't necessarily the best company anyway. Like I said, if you're whoever, one of them that's been travelling has tipped a hand showing that he can use magic. And my guess is they've tried to do him in the night by the look of it. This is where they've come to rest. Seems like they've tried to do something a bit untoward, innit?
Whoever they've been traveling with. Yeah, true.
I mean, who exactly is it that they were journeying with? Who are the passengers?
That's a very good question. We're thinking that it might be the one that we've been trying to find. Although now I wonder. And I will be waiting for an occasion in which I'm going to notice that Rose is more alone and the others are not necessarily paying attention to members of the group. Or maybe just waiting until the right time.
Regardless, I think we should keep moving. We're clearly not too far behind. We try and make the speed up. As I'm sort of saying this, and as Ket's been washing the snow off his face before the prestidigitation kicks in, I will hold out my hand and Thor style, my axe will fly back to my hand.
Oh, why? Can you summon it to your hand, your axe?
No, but I've using my daily freebie of my telekinetic movement, which can move a willing person or an item.
Nice.
Get back to my hand.
And he kind of like sees it whiz out. Like, oh. And he just nods, slightly impressed. And Duke looks around and says, "Well, we're a day away from the spine, and your folks were 3 days ahead of you. I'm looking at this and what you've been seeing. Seems like this might have happened a couple of days ago. I mean, we can definitely try to keep making a move. You're traveling by dark, though. And that blizzard's... that snow's kicking in. It's already hard enough to see, so it's going to take... He kind of like grits his teeth. It's going to need a good eye out on that road with that lamp. And... if there's a lot around here that could see it. Traveling by days and traveling by night's an option, but it's not a favourable one. If you know what I'm saying.
Of course.
I mean, if you're whoever they are have travelled to the spine, they're not going to be travelling much further than that with a wagon, and they'll be on foot by then anyway. Might be able to pursue them up that way, you know. Might not need to jeopardize it and the horses, but I can. If you want.
We agreed that we would defer to your expertise. If anything does happen to the horses, you're either stuck coming to Icewind Dale with us, or heading back on foot and losing a wagon. None of these seem worthwhile.
He nods. A look of relief on his face. Then I suggest we all get our heads down as soon as possible so we can start as soon as day breaks. I'll make sure that I'm up and the horses are ready.
Oh yeah, we'd stopped here to rest, hadn't we?
Yeah, it's nice and forward.
We have in a very wonderful location.
That was the plan, yes.
I'm getting ready for the burial again.
No time.
Oh, you're gonna...
No time, woman.
I'm not sure if burial will be an option here. I suppose rights are.
Makeshift
They've
rights.
already been
They're good enough.
cremated.
Yeah.
Rights. Final rights, you know, may their souls not be lost in this place forever and have them come back to haunt people as we've seen happen before. Yes? Thank you, Kellenborg. Please, don't write things up. Take them away. Thank you.
The end.
Yeah, sorry, you're dead. Amen.
Okay. We will look at wrapping this up shortly.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So, what is the watch order? How do you want to do it?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think going well with a darker visioner.
I'll go first again.
Well.
Yeah.
So I guess our previously agreed upon order in which me and Eileen first watch.
We did think
Just
very
check.
bit.
Are you two going first? I mean, that's fine.
I mean, it was agreed before we found the corpses, but
okay.
we can change. It's not a problem.
No, it clearly is. You felt the need to raise it, so yeah. You do that first.
I'm raising anything I notice.
These guys, Aggie. Honestly, yeah. Me and Aggie head to bed.
Sleep well.
Good
Keeping
night,
the
Letitia. I
torch.
believe you need it.
Are you keeping the torch
Yeah,
on all
I mean,
night?
I slept a bit on the road, but yeah, I could use some shut eye.
Yeah, my lantern. Once we've finished looking around here, my lantern, if you're talking to me, is going right back to being off.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we'll keep just the one on the wagon. Keep that illuminated. And up first on their watch would be Eileen and Turlos.
Hmm.
That.
Yeah. So is anybody having tents? You're doing. I mean, Duke is setting his tent up again. Eileen, are you going to be setting up a tent again?
Yep.
Turlos, are you setting a tent next to Eileen, or are you not bothering this time?
No.
Are you
No.
going to try and mitigate, swatch it around with Duke and sleep in his tent again?
Not necessarily. We'll see how it goes. But I'm not aiming at it.
Okay, so we'll say that there needs to be. I think it'll be 3 watches with this many of you. I can't bother doing the maths. I really should just have a table of like how many people there are, how many watches you need to do. I'm sure there's plenty of them. So we'll call it 3 watches. And how many people have we got? Well, so we've got 6. Okay, so which groups of 2 are we going with?
Me and Lutetia.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're going with me
And
and
then-
Eileen, then Gris and Letitia, and we've got the NPCs.
Okay. Cool. Then on first watch, can Eileen and Tyrilos, one of you, I suppose it'll be Tyrilos, but Eileen can be providing assistance, so you can roll it with advantage, Tyrilos. Okay.
That's not bad at all.
Are you sticking around the camp? Are you trekking closer to the road, or are you just staying the near vicinity? You can't really see much just staying from the wagon. You've got limited view.
I would be pacing a bunch.
Okay, but not going too far from the thing.
No. Certainly not. Going
Okay,
for walks.
Cool. You are. Eileen, did you say you were just doing last rites? You're leaving the bodies where they are, though, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you watch diligently through the night. The shadow of the cliffs just loom up, and then it's just kind of like an open sky above, but just like a blistering snow that keeps coming in, just doesn't manage to reach all the way down here. It just kind of like hits into the side of the rocks. But otherwise, your watch is uneventful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who's taking the next watch? Is it Ket and Duke, or Turilla?
Do you want to go through it quickly to get us through the night and then end the session, or
In what way?
Conversations, or no?
Do you want to have a conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have something that's hanging around for quite some time.
Okay, then I will say I'm presuming people are looking to leave now, so then we will jump into the watch in the next session if that works for everybody. So I think Letitia and Harrison are looking to break away round about nowish anyway.
Yes.
And I was just about to say that I don't mind waiting a bit more.
Well, I mean, if Harrison and Letitia wish to leave, if you guys want to have a private conversation, I can stick around for a minute if you wish.
Yeah, I can leave the stream running for a few.
Or do you just want to have it at the beginning of the next session? Entirely
I
up
don't
to
mind
yourselves.
either way.
Coin flip. We roll a d2. We stay on 1 for this one, and we do it on the next one on the 2.
I would say if it's not major important that it's something you want it to be private,
I mean,
then
I don't.
Start with it.
I really don't mind either way.
let's leave it till the next session then, because I think it's nicer for
Okay.
people to see the character interactions with everybody
Sure.
anyway. We'll go down that route.
All right.
As much as would love to just sit around and play all night, he says, looking at Click Studio Paint to load up instantly.
You're going back to work?
It's always, yeah.
Oh, man.
I've got so much to do. So much to do. Cool. Okay. Well, that was eventfully uneventful, but in a good way. There was some good things that happened then, which I was quite excited about.
We keep finding bodies.
Bodies everywhere. Bodies for days.
We keep finding bodies.
I know. Poor Eileen. She's going to be so traumatized by the end of this fucking journey. All she's done is be in a wagon. That's all she's done. She didn't ask for the caravanier's life. Right then, guys. Super. Good stuff. Good job with the music, Alex. Good music soundtracks tonight. The section. I just don't feel the need to load up music for the talkies.
For the D&D campaign.
For the D&D campaign.
I mean,
Yeah.
You know, I played the Mythics with you for how long? I know that Arctic Wind is all you have up your sleeve.
Yeah, I've got a full track list of stuff, but it's so inappropriate for just chatting all the time. Plus, I feel like wind just makes it more ambient. It feels more part of it. If you've got tracks in the background, I'm kind of like, okay, it's just noise then. That's my opinion on it, though. What do I know?
Well, that was fun, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, DM.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Hello, everyone.
It was
Happy birthday,
that was-
Nikki.
Happy birthday, Nikki.
Happy birthday again, Nikki.
Birthday part 2.
Snowy Boogaloo.
Did we say that we weren't playing next week, Harrison,
think-
or is that?
Didn't you
Are we
say
not?
we weren't playing next week?
Did I say that?
You said,
I
what was it?
thought
The
it
was it the last week of the
the
month? I
28th?
think you said.
Next week, so it wouldn't be then.
Oh no, yeah. So
Wasn't it on the 28th?
27th. Because you're not doing
Yeah,
the last week of
27th.
the last week of a month.
Mhm,
You're
yeah.
shitting out of Tuesday as
Yeah.
well.
Tuesday as well.
And I don't have a Tomb of Annihilation. One that week, so it's an empty week
I think
for me.
When do you have Tomb of Annihilation anyway? So
Normally, 3 of the 4 weeks of the month, but at the moment, the next couple have been delayed.
such is life, and these things happen, as is always the way.
Not in
Life,
case of Strap, we don't.
That's
So,
true.
yeah.
We do have the horror session on 23rd, Harrison.
We do, yes.
So.
Okay, so next week is as normal then.
All right.
Yes. Time for drama.
Yeah. Exciting,
Well,
exciting.
I will bring the stream to a close. If you all want to say happy birthday to good night.
Good night, Nikki,
Night.
Good night,
and
Nick.
everybody else.
Bye. See you, everybody.
And bye-bye.
Nikki gonna become our Brian to our critical role.
Nikki
She's
will
like,
be the Brian to our critical role. Yeah, Nikki is a player in the little Candlekeep thing I'm gonna do.
nice. Super. Well, good to have you around, Nikki. Right then, folks. Fantastic
Bye.
job.
Harrison
See y'all
just-
later.
Harrison just recruits all his viewers to his campaigns.
It's true. It's true. Well, should already express. If they express an interest, we'll get them in.